Hello and welcome everybody to Games XP. We're here once again with a Week 10 matchup, this time a reschedule of a Week 9 matchup, this time between PPC and Atlas Esports. My name is Rebel Fox, and here with me today is a caster by the name of, hold on, I need to check your name because I don't know you yet. Bygone Coder, how are you doing today?
Well, I'm doing fantastic. Looking forward to some wonderful League of Legends.
Aren't we all? That's what we're all here for. But in any case, PPC, I believe, is locked or close to it locked as the number 2 team in the playoffs, whereas Atlas Esports has already been eliminated. Nonetheless, this should still be a very fun affair to watch. What do you think about these two teams?
Honestly, it's kind of one of those things where you feel a little awkward because you do look at Atlas Esports as a team that, like you said, is already eliminated. So usually makes for a very interesting set of games because you're talking about a team that has nothing left to lose, basically. So I'm curious to see how they're going to approach this matchup. Whether you can either take this match actually rather seriously because you want to go out looking as good as possible despite the season you may have had, or you might do something more fun, something a little crazy because why not?
Absolutely. We'll have to see which side they kind of lean towards in this one as we get into the picks and bans. We see Renekton taken off the board for Cinco Gazer. We know that's his go-to pick. Fuzz is on the Riven as well, one of his top picks. That gets taken out, as well as Morgana, and we just see the Graves taken away. How you liking the ban phases so far?
Yeah, not too surprising there. I know that of the times that I have seen Cinco play as Renekton, the team very much regretted it. So not a surprise that they would target ban this guy, at least off of that pick. Chances are then you force him onto something like we've seen the Poppy a lot from him. So that's what I would expect to be his go-to, unless for some reason Atlas wants to ban that out as well.
Now, there are also two new mid laners in the game. We see Astro subbed in for mid lane, and I'm not sure if Destiny specifically plays mid lane for Atlas all that often, so we're going to see maybe what could be a brand new set of mid lane matchups. How are you kind of looking forward to that kind of thing?
I'm not entirely sure what to expect, honestly. Destiny previously has played the support role for Atlas Esports, and I actually thought they looked all right in that role. I've seen some of their Thresh games and things like that, so I'm curious to see what their mid lane champion actually looks like. Astro, on the other side, a player that I actually know and have seen outside of just Games XP, and I know that she is an actual mid laner. She does play Ari, does play a couple other mid laners, so I would actually expect her to actually be on something more bursty, more assassin-y, would be my guess.
Okay. Yeah, it would be a great matchup to see. We'll have to see how these two kind of adapt to that role. We see the bans ended out with the Alistar and the Kayn taken away, so a little bit of focus towards friction in that jungle, as well as Cinco Gazer's number 1. On the other side, the champion pool of Babo Penguin being targeted down, as well as that Fuzz's pick. And we see Urgot locked in for the side of PPC, and now Kai'Sa locked in on the side of Atlas.
Yeah, so not going to be the Poppy, actually, for Cinco, and for him to be on an Urgot. Now, I do not know how proficient of an Urgot player he is, but based on what I have seen in the types of champions he likes to play, he is a carry top laner, so the Urgot definitely suits him, and if he is a proficient Urgot, I think Atlas are going to be in a bit of trouble for sure, based on what we've seen from their performance in the past. Teams in general have struggled against Purple Cobras, I believe, because of this guy in the top lane. Cinco is by far their best player, I would say. And if a team is not able to deal with the pressure that he creates, they usually find themselves between a rock and a hard place.
Yeah, very difficult, but we see the Malphite lock in here immediately. Maybe points to that Urgot going towards the mid lane instead, unless Friction or Desolate Earth really want to pull out the Malphite pick. On the other side, we did see that Braum locked into the bot lane. Kai'Sa Braum, very strong, and we are disconnected from the... Oh, okay, I take it maybe... All right, great.
I'm assuming bug splats.
Oh, I gotcha. Okay. So we lose because of an E-sub on the side of, I believe it is, Atlas. They will actually be losing bans, but they've already messed that up. So they have to redo the draft now, and they only get 2 bans. So they can't actually ban a third champion out.
And here I was going to want to talk about Raito Spaghetti Code, but that is not the culprit this time.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, if that's the case, maybe the Graves of the Cane gets through. I remember seeing, I casted a game just a few games ago where Friction was on the Cane, and he had massive impact on it past that 10-15 minute mark. So, really incredible job by him. But we'll have to see if that slips through over the Graves, or if maybe they go to a completely different ban.
Yeah, that is something that I have noticed that we've seen a lot. Friction has definitely been more of a carry jungler. Have not seen too many tank picks from him, although I have not seen everything he's played, but I know that he's played Kha'Zix, he's played Master Yi, he's played more carry-oriented junglers, and usually looks to give actually Cinco some early game attention, or the bot lane. Usually that's where he's tended to go, and for good reason. Because knowing that that's where he can usually create the most pressure. Sometimes just deciding, Cinco can create so much pressure on his own that depending on the pick he's on, Friction knows he can just kind of leave him on an island to do his thing, while he can just invade the enemy jungler and, raise heck for them over there.
Yeah, absolutely. With those first two picks, now we don't know whether their bans or their picks will be the same, but from what we saw immediately, they had the Malphite and the Urgot come out, so they had two different tank picks ready to go. So maybe definitely leaning towards Friction getting some sort of carry jungler. Definitely kind of in line with what you were saying there. My curiosity is where Silvernil will be playing instead as well. I want to see whether he goes for an aggressive matchup to counter, or if he goes for more of a tank to try to help his team out a little bit better.
I actually think if you're on the side of Atlas, if you're facing down the Urgot top lane, I actually would want to see Fuzz on something like the Ornn champion, because one thing we do know is the champion pool that Cinco has, tanks don't tend to do very well into. He specifically plays champions that capitalize on tank matchups, but Ornn is one of those few champions that can just kind of not lose lane. So as Atlas, if you kind of just accept that you're not going to win the matchup against Cinco, what you can do is just set up your top lane to at least not fail or hemorrhage gold while you try to make something else happen elsewhere on the map.
And where that advantage might come from is potentially out of the mid lane, depending on how Atlas can perform against Astro. I know Tomato Farmer, Desolate are both very, very good players, so we'll have to see how that kind of interaction goes through. Do you see a small change up in the bans? We see the Renekton still come through, but now the Ahri pick, instead of going for the double jungle ban, I'm guessing to leave up that Graves or that Kayn so that they could pick the opposite if necessary, or if they have something prepared specifically for one of those two, and then we'll be able to see that.
Yeah, no, I would say, because we've seen Ahri banned away from Purple Cobras in other matches, and if this was the mid laner we've seen from them in the past, Frisian, I would actually disagree with the Ahri ban, but in Astro's case, I actually would kind of agree with it, because I know that she is a big player of that champion, and I would argue that she's good enough on it that the ban is warranted if they don't feel that they can really pinch Cinco's champ pool enough, because otherwise I think as Atlas, that's really what you want to go for, is you want to minimize Cinco's impact as much as possible. Again, we let the Urgot through, so.
Yeah, again, the Urgot pick comes out. It could still be Astros. Again, we did see Malphite come out in the second pick phase of that last one, but with the Urgot pick, we do know it's probably going to one of their solo lanes, most likely. Again, the Kai'Sa lock-in. We'll see if this is a Braum lock-in and just match exactly what we had last game. But really, really looking pretty the same, other than just that one Ahri ban. Having Kayn and Graves available will give Friction some options, though. And the Gragas lock-in, so switching up the draft already from the Braum onto that Gragas, that's probably a jungle Gragas. Could go into the support or top role, I suppose, but most likely a jungler.
Yeah, so definitely good power picks on both sides. I like that Atlas is taking very viable champions for their draft thus far, but now what I want to see is, since they did pick the Gragas, I want to see probably their mid laner is where I actually want to see them draft something that will give lane dominance. Because again, you're looking kind of down the barrel of a gun when it comes to the top lane matchup, and knowing in your bot lane you have this Kai'Sa who doesn't really have lane presence. Even though she can spike on one item if you go the Stormrazor's route, she's not going to do a whole lot early, and so Gragas needs a lane that he can actually go to make something happen.
Yeah, absolutely. We do see that Kane get locked in from Friction, again, one of his better champions, most definitely. Yasuo gets locked in for either Astro or Cinco, or even potentially Tomato Farmer. We're not sure who that pick is going to be going to, but actually a lot of AD being locked in so far on the side of PPC. We're going to see Poppy get locked in, so that's a Poppy pick, I would assume, for top lane, but again, with these kind of flex picks, we'll have to see.
Could definitely be Poppy jungle Gragas support, right?
Yeah. I could be Poppy support with the Gragas top and still haven't picked a jungler yet. I mean, we don't even know yet, but
I mean, I remember the days when Kai'Sa first released. We had Kai'Sa jungles running around in solo queue.
Yeah. I believe that just got played just a few games ago. If anyone was actually watching the stream of FG versus White Lotus, Scamander actually took that into the jungle.
But yeah, so far on the side of Purple Cobras, I do also like what else I've drafted, knowing that, like, as you pointed out, we've seen Friction on this Kane before. Definitely something that's good for doing a lot of counter jungling and things like that. Something that works very well with the fact that Cinco is more than likely the one on this Urgot. So knowing the pressure that he's going to create will allow Friction to just kind of have his way in the jungle matchup. So hopefully Atlas is prepared to make sure that they are tracking Friction's pathing, because if they don't, Friction might just run away and, leave poor Silver here left out to dry.
Absolutely. Did they miss a ban at some point, or is that just first set of bans? Okay, yeah, my bad. I was off count of bans at the moment, so I knew that they lost their back three, but I wasn't sure whether one ban had already gone through, so I thought maybe PPC missed their ban. That's on me. See the Singed and the Brahmia taken away. Braum was their locket last time when we saw their support pick come through. Singed taken away from Fuzzes, so really trying to protect their top lane or whoever that might be.
Yeah, so what I want to see from Atlas here is if they can try and effectively utilize the fact that they do have the counter matchup, but usually you find teams are not quite able to really figure out that. But I do like the Skarner, so something that can power farm sort of against the Kane jungle clearing. So I do like that coming out from Atlas. So they will have options to hopefully try and contest Kane for some of those neutral objectives and have some scuttle control.
All right, we finally get to start looking and seeing what these final drafts are looking like with the Yasuo. We assume that Yasuo is now going bot lane with the Orianna as well, and Sion gets locked in. So assumably it's Sion, Yasuo bot lane with Orianna mid, Kane jungle, and Urgot top. Thank goodness we finally got some relief there. With the Skarner jungle, we assume that that's probably either a Gragas top or support, with Poppy being the opposite. We'll have to see where we go here.
I almost hesitate to say so, but a part of me feels like Purple Cobras is throwing us a draft right now that's just like, kind of knowing that Alice has already been knocked out, that Purple Cobras is kind of doing something cheesy here. Like, their comp just screams to me that this is more of something fun that they want to do. I'm not really convinced that this is like a really professional like draft that, like, say if this was, finals, that this is something that they would draft.
I would agree with that. Maybe they're trying to test some new stuff before it's time for the playoffs to start, but we'll have to wait and see for that to happen. We did see that it was finally the Gragas support instead of anything else, which was kind of expected after we saw the Skarner lock-in. And the Azir mid lane, how do you like the Azir pick from Atlas here?
I do like the Azir, and I don't like it. I like it because it does like add to the team fighting stability for the side of Atlas, but the thing I don't like about it is that Azir doesn't have a very good laning phase. I would give it to the Orianna, that in this typical mid lane matchup, Orianna is going to have more control over the lane. And again, that kind of then puts more advantages to the side of Purple Cobras, something that Atlas really doesn't want. We know that Purple Cobras is plenty capable and willing to make some early aggression happen. And usually it's where they're able to snowball into the mid and late game team fights that they do so well. And if you're Atlas, like, yeah, you've got this Kai'Sa, but drafting the Azir means you have even less ways to make sure that you're going to survive until your Kai'Sa gets to 3 items, gets to 6 items.
The late game fighting from the side of Atlas should be monstrous, but the question is, can they actually get there through this insanely early game AD composition with the Yasuo bot and the Urgot top. How are you liking the odds of... how do you like the Kaiser Gragas lane? Let's start there. Kaiser Gragas is in a lane we tend to see very often.
No, it's not a combo we've seen very often, but it is something we have seen even at the professional level already as of recent, so it is viable. I think the concept behind it is just that Gragas provides utility and even some level of disengage, which just helps the Kai'Sa get through her laning phase that much better, knowing that between the barrel and the body slam, especially that allows the Gragas to interrupt engages that might otherwise just outright kill your AD carry early on.
Gotcha. And then let's break it down to the individual scale. Which is the lane or which matchup do you want to watch the most, and what's going to impact the game the most in this one?
Honestly, I want to see what happens between the junglers, because I think we're seeing a lot right now with the recent patch changes that Riot has generally put out. And even if you're watching like any of the professional scene right now, that the jungler impact is unmistakably really big right now, as far as just the game from a general perspective is. The jungler that sets the tone of the game is usually the team that ends up winning. The jungler that's able to get that early aggression, or the jungler that's able to successfully stall said early aggression from the other one. And so I'm looking at this game, I'm looking at the Skarner. Where do these two either first meet each other, or where's the first play going to happen for either of them? What are their lane gank options?
Okay, well, with that, we'll have to wait and see. We're going to take a small break before we get into the game, enjoy some advertisements from our sponsors.
I'm Borseth, and I own and operate GXPC in Decorah, Iowa. GXPC is a geek paradise. We carry everything from Pong and Atari all the way to Xbox One and PS4, and all the games that would go with those consoles as well. We also carry a ton of movies. We have handheld games. We have Magic the Gathering, Yu-Gi-Oh!, Pokemon. We have D&D and Pathfinder. We carry Warhammer 40K. We have a vintage Star Wars selection. This place is great. My wife and I have had 6 kids, and they are so much fun to work with here at the store. They run the store as much as I do.
And we now repair cell phones, game consoles, computers, and small electronics.
Our store is instant fun. Not only is there cool music and cool stuff to look at, but we have a game room that is so much fun. It's free to play, and you just plug in your game system and enjoy life. The GXPC motto is bringing joy to people's lives through our products, people, and a place to play. So you have got to come to Decorah, Iowa, and check out GXPC and experience this geek gaming paradise.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Games XP. This matchup between PPC and Atlas Esports coming out onto the Rift. From the blue side is PPC, red side is Atlas Esports. We'll see how these teams kind of interact. Looks like both are going right for a 5-point.
Yeah, it does look that way. I'm actually hoping to see on the side of Purple Cobras that they do pull a level 1 invade shenanigans, but actually now they're all going to start splitting up. So
yep. It's exactly like a 5-point right now. Take a look at Keystones really quick, something to talk about. We see a couple of interesting ones. Again, we see that Dark Harvest on Kayn. That's what he went last time. We see Glacial Augment on the support Scion, something probably to expect from him. We do see Electrocute from the Azir. That's something pretty interesting to look at. We can discuss that further. And Guardian on the Gragas are the ones that I would point out as being a little bit different than expected.
Yeah, no, indeed. Those all sound actually pretty standard, at least in the current meta. Though I did not get the chance quite to double check, but hopefully with the chance to soon here. What rune the Orianna actually took? Because Orianna has a couple of options between either Aerie or Comet, or even actually the Spellbook option.
She has Aerie right now.
Yeah, no, Aerie I would actually wager is the better option.
Most likely, yeah. I do like the Electrocute on the Azir. Electrocute on Azir is after the changes to it, where it happens more often but less damage. I find that Azir was one of the beneficiaries of that kind of evaluation. So, but we'll have to see how that lane kind of interacts. We see Silvernil on the red side start going right to his Krugs, and actually an exact match by the Kayn on the bot side, going right for his Krugs as well. Very defensive starts, potentially looking for early ganks from these two.
Yeah, no, indeed. So I'm actually wondering then, potentially whether either these junglers, do some of the typical paths you've seen from buff to Krogs to buff or to Scuttle, and potentially where that first gank is actually going to come from is where I would actually want to be keeping my eyes on for right now. I would like to actually see Skarner, if possible, see if you can get a gank on this top side. Try and get Cinco under control before he starts getting out of hand.
We'll have to see if he's able to do so. Right now, both pixel brushes are warded, so they're going to be able to spot out the Kayn here, going for that top side Scuttle, even though they know the bot side hasn't been taken yet. Good warding is able to keep their jungle pathing under wraps right now. A little bit of action here in the bot lane, but nothing so far has really gone awry.
Yeah, no, and I want to make sure that Atlas can keep track how they utilize the vision that they do have now, because they spotted out where the Kayn was, and yeah, good on Fuzz here. Gonna back off a little bit, knowing that Friction is in the area, might decide to visit.
Yeah, absolutely. Kayn is ripping through his jungle right now. I think he's about a camp ahead of the Skarner. Skarner's walking into his bot side, too. That's going to be a bad thing for him because there's nothing left down there. All he's going to get is that one score. Cinco Gazer on the Urgot is able to get some decent damage onto Fuzzes, but with Fuzzes at that corrupting pot, he's not going to have too much of an issue. Maybe he has more of an issue than we thought. Never mind.
Fuzz not having a fun time here up in the top lane.
Range champion, multiple ways to poke, all that kind of stuff just isn't easy. There's a little bit of trading here back and forth between the mid and top lanes, or mid and bot lanes. Tomato Farmer with a great wind wall there to block all of the shots from Chigoritsu's Q, and a little bit of disengage from both teams, just poking each other. Again, just whittling down, trying to get any advantage that they can in this early game.
And that is one of the advantages of having a lane like the Yasuo Scion bot lane, is that Scion being a tank, tanks just have so much base damage in the early game before you start getting any. That Scion Q is going to hurt a lot.
Ooh, the Ignite did go down on Tomato Farmer. I don't think he actually dies from that. Yeah, the protection from Scion to keep that W off. Very close. That interaction was really interesting. So he went to EQ the Kai'Sa and got E'd out of it by the Gragas, knocking him out, canceling his E-dash and his Q in the process. Really interesting job by Babo Penguin to play this kind of pick. And now the Yasuo is going to be losing out some farm bot lane.
Fuzz here getting pretty low, getting pushed under tower. While he's getting pushed in. Not a fun position that you want to be in. Cinco just exerting his dominance, why he is such a good top laner at this.
Yeah, just keeps getting shipped lower, has no more corrupting potion stack. Oh, and the Ignite does come down. He pushes him out of tower range. Oh, Fuzzes, unfortunately, but here comes Silvernail, may be able to get something, gonna get canceled. The Predator, and they have movement speed. He flashes, Ease, gets the stun. Cinco Gazer probably going to go down here, and there is Silvernail picks up the counter kill onto the top laner, but not before the damage was already done. Wave was pushed. Skarner's going to have to try and get that back into a reasonable place, and the kill, first blood going over to Cinco Gazer.
And that was very good for Silver to be in the area where he needed to be in. Especially, hopefully too, realizing that, his top laner was getting pushed into tower so much, realizing the potential for a tower dive and like that happening. Unfortunate that Silver wasn't able to quite be in proximity enough to save Fuzz from dying completely, but at least the return kill does equalize things a bit so that that loss isn't so hefty.
Absolutely. Great job by him to at least try to help out his top laner a little bit, but like you said, not there quite fast enough, and now we're going to have to worry about whether or not this Poppy can stay in lane against the Urgot. We have to wonder how long is it before he just takes complete control of this top lane.
Yeah, no, I think on the side of Atlas, Silver here needs to sort of make a decision now, even after that first blood. Like, either you keep trying to gank top lane and try and get Cinco under control, or you kind of have to realize that you have a ticking time bomb in the top lane, and you need to go somewhere else on the map and get your other lanes rolling before Friction and Cinco can come online completely.
Yeah, absolutely. I think one place that he could potentially look for is this bot lane with the gank setup from Gragas and the damage from Chibaritsu's Kai'Sa. It could be a very easy lane to assist in ganking with that ultimate. We're going to have to see if he ever makes his way down there. Hasn't spent much time on the bottom side of the map at all yet.
Yeah, I do actually think Silver should gank his bot lane once he hits that level 6 power spike.
A great stun into the wall by Cinco, just a little bit of trading, assumably, but they are level 6. Cinco Gazer could potentially look for an engage here. Drops Fuzzes really low, but nothing crazy here. Sorry to interrupt you. You can keep going with that.
Yeah, but those are taking super low. Friction is on the top side of the map, so Fuzz might want to be careful here, but looks like Friction isn't gonna be patient.
Yeah, a couple of really good plays there from Tomato Farmer, doing a great job dodging in and out, making sure that he's not taking damage from this Gragas, not getting knocked around by the Gragas. Desolate Earth helping him out a little bit too. This bot lane, which, I mean, it's double melee bot lane, isn't actually going super bad.
Yeah, no, as the bot lane starts reaching their level 6 power spike here, that's where I want to see Silver come and gank his bot lane, just because you can really get the crunch on this Yasuo, because you get the engage with the Gragas ultimate, pushing him back, so that then Silver has a really easy access to ult the Yasuo and bring him in even further for the Kai'Sa to finish him off.
We do see also Friction currently a little bit ahead in jungle fight. He has about 4 CS over the Skarner and has multiple camps respawning now. He's going to be able to get ahead, but this bot lane has some action going on. Ultimate comes out from Babo Penguin. No ultimate yet from either of the side of PPC, but they're going to walk out of that fight. Cinco Gazer drops the exhaust onto Fuzzes. We're going to see if he actually is able to get the ultimate off. Silvernail pulls him under tower. Oh, not quite able to get him under tower. The C, not quite able to get the kill onto Fuzzes, and Cinco Gazer goes down. Now we're seeing an interaction or a fight here onto Orianna. The ultimate misses from KT, but it doesn't matter. Chibaritsu gets that kill anyway. CGG ult is on to Desolate Earth. He's still not level 5. Friction is, though. Let's see if he's able to pump out the damage yet. Ults into Chibaritsu, thinks he can get this kill. But the Azir's still here. Friction tried to run away as fast as he can. Has to flash out Pangbo. But Chibaritsu flashes in, gets the Q kill as well. Babo Penguin just tanking that tower. Great job by the side of Atlas. 3 for nothing right there.
Yeah, no, indeed. And the way that started out, I just to say, like Astro, like, what are you doing pathing that way?
Tomato Farmer is still action here. Is he going to be able to? He gets the ultimate, but the heal gets dropped by Babo Penguin. They have no ultimate to see if Tomato's going to be able to get a kill, but I don't know if he's able to get out here. Yeah, gonna go down to Chibaritsu, who picks up his 3rd kill of the game. Desolate Earth also gonna go down this time to Destiny. Wow, the carries of Atlas getting plenty of action here in the bot lane.
And suddenly, that mid lane starts swinging in the favor of Atlas, with Destiny getting all this kill and assist action down the bot lane for the trouble of going down there.
Yeah, Destiny being able to actually roam down there was huge. It was, if he had not gone down there, they probably wouldn't have gotten a kill onto Friction or Tomato or Desolate in that case. So the 4 kills probably definitely deserved from the great play on the side of the mid laner. But a little bit sloppy from PPC going in like that.
Yeah, no, definitely. I think Cobras is definitely being a little over-aggressive and kind of tunnel visioning and taking pathways where they don't really have the vision that they should, and they're kind of just walking. They walked into Atlas and just kind of one by one in a way that you don't want to do that.
Absolutely. We do see a massive CS lead, about 25 minions here in the top lane for Sinka Gazer, despite the fact that he's still down a little bit in kills and assists. Silverno coming in with these Predator. He doesn't have flash, so he's not going to be able to. Hits Tomato Farm, gets knocked out, has to flash away. Silverno's going to grab him anyway. Oh, great Scion ult to try and get his ADC out. Is he going to be able to? No, Chiburitsu barely gets that last auto off. Fantastic plays by both sides, but still just too much damage. Fuzz is now in the top lane, eating him into the wall. That's not going to lead to much, just a little bit of training back and forth. Another kill for the ADC of Atlas Esports.
Yeah, and not only are they getting these kills, but specifically you've got 4 kills on Chibi on this Kai'Sa. Like, that is exactly what Atlas wants. The more you feed this Kai'Sa, the closer they get to that win condition. Like, Kai'Sa on 6 items, people would argue, is just like, you don't win against that. There's no champion in existence that is better than a 6-item Kai'Sa.
Almost definitely. Now, we did see Friction did pick up that Rift Herald, hopefully going to be able to use it. Bible Penguin just eating out, making sure that he's not going to get caught by anybody. But like I said, Friction did pick up that Rift Herald, so they're going to try to get first tower somewhere on the map. But for that trade, they actually give it the Dragon here, so that's going to be I believe it was Cloudbreak on the side of Atlas Esports traded for that Rift Herald.
Now, Atlas doing a superb job of utilizing the pressure that they've created, not just getting all those kills in the bot lane, but actually doing something with it, securing that Clouddrake. But Cobra is definitely fighting back. Friction getting that Rift Herald does, put still some pressure back on Atlas, knowing that first tower is still up for grabs, and Cobras could definitely still look to make a play to secure that goal for themselves at some point.
Yeah, it looks like maybe action here in the top lane. Kane has that Rift Herald looking maybe to fight, try to kill this Poppy. She does have that ultimate, is relatively tanky this early. Has no idea he's here yet. At least she might have an inkling, but doesn't quite know that he's here yet. But he's sitting up here for some time. He has to make a decision very quickly, or his time's just going to be wasted. We also see Destiny and Silverno making their way towards the top side of the map. Looks like they're going to bail on that play. A little bit of a weak engage here. Tomato Farmer and Desolate Earth attempting to get something. Not able to get much yet, though.
Yeah, it definitely looks like so. Friction and Cinco are looking to make something happen topside, but not quite.
Ooh. Oh man, Tomato Farmer was very close to starting in that fight very, very highly, but Chiburitsu just able to survive with that ultimate shield. Not going to go down. It gets another kill. Actually, this time it was on the Gragas, but still a kill for the bot lane onto the opposing ADC. He is really struggling in this game so far.
Yeah, and you could call it troll draft or not, but I think what we're also seeing here is that Cobra is kind of succumbing to some of their weaknesses. I'm not sure how much this has been talked about, but despite Cobras being one of the best teams by far, and you would potentially call this entire match set a mismatch.
Cinco gets a little bit aggressive here. He does get ulted by the Skarner, not going to lead to much. Astro has roamed up. They might just commit for this top tower now. Depends whether Friction drops that Rift Herald. I don't think he can risk it at this moment. Destiny comes in, gets an ult onto Cinco Gazer under tower. He just flashes out. We're going to see ultimate come out from Astro. Didn't hit much. Destiny, or my bad, the side of Atlas is pretty low. They take 2 deaths right then and there. Friction's able to E out. He's able to get away. Hasn't actually taken any damage. And Babo Penguin misses everything on that engage. Cinco probably going to be the sacrificial lamb here, but other than that, no. Oh, there it is. Yeah, the flash E from Fuzz is going to get that kill. Babo Penguin gonna slow Astro. They might be overextending here. They have Desolate Earth, and they have Friction, and there's a kill for Friction onto the side, and they're going to get Babo Penguin too. Yeah, phenomenal job by PPC to be able to clean up that top lane right there.
And suddenly, Atlas taking that huge gold lead they had, and we're just like, we feel bad for Purple Cobras. Here, have some of that gold back.
They had a good idea. The start of that play was really, really good. I liked bringing Destiny and Silverno up to try to counteract that action. but they just they ran into the fact that they used too much too early in that fight, and they weren't able to get anything in return for it. So they just didn't have enough. Top tower goes down. Now the gold is dead even between the two teams. Oh, Riptail might be able to get a charge off. Yeah, get some good damage on that top tower too. So a tower and about probably 40% of that the second tier top tower. Really great job by PPC in this last few minutes here.
You know, definitely for sure. Definitely looked like Cobras were actually going to kind of be on the ropes and have their backs against the wall a bit here against Atlas, but then again, I would say again that we can praise Cobra for their team fighting, and that's really all it took. Atlas took one team fight that arguably you would say they should have been able to win, but just the execution, and Cobras just capitalizes on that, plays that team fight better, and suddenly they're back to finding advantages, and Cobras are going to try and take this game back.
Yeah, now recall a lot of that gold lead so far is on this Kai'Sa who never entered that fight. So neither team had their, well, I'll call it a bot laner right now because we have a Yasuo in this game, but neither team had their bot laner available in that fight. And Kai'Sa is a lot of the gold advantage and a lot of the damage of the side of them. So maybe making a mistake and having not taken, or having taken that fight without him. Tomato Farmer able to get that Q off onto Chibaritsu, who's going to ult that. Oh my goodness. So much damage coming out. Chibaritsu's going to be able to kill. It's action everywhere. That's Alpha Astro going down as well. Fuzzes teleports into the top lane. Cinco Gazer is here as well. See the knockup. Here we go. And the Fuzzes knocked him into the wall. Cinco probably going to go down to the damage from Chibaritsu on this Kai'Sa. Desolate Earth's able to keep him away, though. Fantastic knockup by Desolate Earth. Still probably going to be this bot tower, though. Yeah, now Skarner's heal, so they're definitely going to commit for this bot tower. After that kill onto Astro in the mid lane, they have pressure all over the map. And just as we were praising PPC for taking an advantage, we now see that Atlas is definitely not willing to just give it up without a fight.
Yeah, definitely. Fights all over the map. Both teams just kind of having a gentleman's agreement. You know, we don't care about towers. We're just fight. Just try and get as many kills as possible, everyone.
Absolutely. It makes for a very interesting game, but it's a lot of talking, and the camera can't exactly keep up with everything at once. Still, we see Destiny got an assist on that one. I think it went over to the Skarner. Another kill onto Chibaritsu, unfortunately, means Atlas is just getting the damage onto their carries just as fast as they can. That's really unfortunate for the side of PPC.
Yeah, and actually what you can see is, so notice that there's like how much, despite Synchro's deaths, the CS lead that he's built up over time, and you look at some of these item differences, how Fuzz has only got the Sheen and a Bomby Cinder right now. Cinco already completed his Black Cleaver, and man, more action in the bot lane.
Tomato Farmer, just a little bit of it right there. Friction's able to Q away and actually get out of the ultimate from the Gragas. Probably going to get run down by Silvernil, though. Cinco Gazer's here with the Q. Yeah, that's Friction going to be going down here. 5-man bot here from the side of Atlas to get that pick off onto the jungler PPC. And Tomato Farmer for that.
Great fight by Atlas, just collapsing down, and especially getting a kill off onto Friction enables him to get this Drake pretty much completely for free. Unless... no, Cobra's gonna try. Nope, not gonna try and steal it.
Really interesting is the over-aggression from Tomato Farmer. It looked very much like he was just under the tower. Took I think 4 autos from Chibaritsu and like an ability from Babo Penguin before he even like got out of tower range. So he died very, very fast in that fight without doing even a lick of damage. Kind of a shame. This Yasuo pick hasn't really worked out so far. He rushed into a Phantom Dancer in a 2v2 lane, which, unless they changed Phantom Dancer, I'm pretty sure Phantom Dancer only works in a 1v1 situation, so not sure why he went right for that item without planning for a split push, but see if Tomato Farmer can make his way back into this game somehow.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I feel like Tomato Farmer is, like, there's a running joke for, like, Lee Sin players called, like, Lee Sin Syndrome, where, like, and I think Tomato Farmer suffering from that in a Yasuo sense of things, where like Yasuo just makes you feel like you need to play more aggro than you really do.
We can call it syndrome.
But interesting, Chibi on this Kai'Sa though, actually complete. We're gonna see more. No, not gonna quite die.
Buzzes is just too tanky for them. I mean, even with the ultimate and the crit coming out from Yasuo so far, he's just not able to get any damage done onto the Poppy, who is behind the Urgot pretty substantially. So that kind of speaks to the mounds of how bad this Yasuo is at this moment. So.
Oh yeah, Yasuo is definitely one of those champions that when he falls behind, it really hurts him.
Here comes Babo and Penguin and Friction coming in here. They're going to be able to get some damage on Tomato Farmer. He's going to go down to the Ignite, but now it looks like Fuzz is, had the art charge, not able to get anything. Chibaritsu ulted into this fight, going to have to put out damage. The Ignite is down. Friction has it ulted, gonna ult, now probably going to kill Friction or Chibaritsu with this. It was Desolate Earth that picks up that shutdown gold. Friction, that red Kane, is able to get the knock and gets the kill on the Babo. Penguin, now Single Gazer in danger here in the mid lane. Silver Note probably going to try and chase him down. Not sure if the ult's going to be needed. Destiny probably going to ult him even further back. Yeah, nothing that Cinco can do right here. Probably just going to go down to the Azir and to the... Yeah, going to go down instead of the Skarner, not the Azir. But phenomenal job by both teams taking advantage on different sides of the map. Atlas losing bot lane and taking a play mid. So
interesting itemization coming out though from some of these laners.
Let's hear about it. What items are you kind of interested in here?
Because GV didn't actually go for the Stormrazor build. This Kai'Sa's going AP, full AP Kai'Sa, it looks like, which kind of makes Atlas's damage a bit awkward because it means that Cobras should be able to theoretically just build a ton of MR.
See, that's what it would normally mean, but unfortunately, so like right now, Syncagazer exclusively has armor. We only see one other magic, or we have 3 pairs of Merc Treads, but no other magic resist items out yet. So maybe Chibaritsu just thinking ahead of the curve right now. Chibaritsu hits him with that W, gonna ult in, and that's gonna be another kill for Chibaritsu onto Tomato Farmer. This Yasuo really suffering in this lane. And in this game, to be 100% honest. Friction coming in under tower, misses the W. Destiny with some fancy footwork there to get him out from under. They're still going to be able to take it basically for free. Babo Penguin not quite to get the ultimate out well enough, so nothing more going to be happening. Top lane, bot lane, a little bit of skirmishing, nothing crazy.
And that's what happens when your Yasuo falls this far behind. Tomato Farmer not having a good time. Problem with Yasuo when he falls behind is why it hurts him so much is that because Yasuo, because of his passive with how his crit works and everything, you want to go a crit item into the Infinity Edge typically, and until he gets that Infinity Edge, he just doesn't do damage right now. That Phantom Dancer gives him crit chance, but it gives him no additional damage really. So
absolutely. Also, unfortunately, he is a melee crit-based champion, so no sustainability for the most part to speak of other than that bar underneath of his health bar, so that passive shield. But other than that, there's really no survivability on a champion who needs to be at very close range to do any damage. So if he falls this far behind, he's a very rough job getting back into the game.
And you can still, despite how bloody this game has gotten, and even with 16 kills to 9, Atlas is only about 2,000 gold ahead.
Yeah, about 1,600 of that gold is on the Azir, and I think about 2,500 is on the Kai'Sa over the Yasuo. But remember, Cinco still has a decent advantage and a massive advantage in the jungle. About about 1,500 gold for Friction right now, who actually has the most gold in the game of any champion. He just has the most gold in the game right now.
Might look for another engagement here. No, gonna back off for now.
So tell us about
what I really want to see out of Atlas at this point in the game is I want to see them not just get all these kills, but do something more with them. They have gotten the outer ring of turrets, which is good, but I want to see them really focus an objective, like as a team, like, force a fight play to get a tower, not just force fights for the sake of getting kills.
Yeah, just as you say that, little bit of force play from PPC, but not able to get anything. I think they burned a flash. Yeah, Friction's flash was burned in an attempt on that engage, and nothing was burned on the side of Atlas, so they still have everything. The question is, so Kane was, he ran into a period of time where he wasn't able to do much. Then he started ganking, and now we're here. He has a decent gold advantage, but where does he go in fights? What does he do in order to win this game?
I mean, I think if you're Friction right now, you want to assassinate Chibi.
We got tons of action right here. Desolate Earth, it's a massive ultimate. Oh my goodness, so many ultimates landing right here. Yeah, Cinco Gazer gets the first kill. This is a bloodbath for PPC, killing 2 already. Destiny's able to ult everyone out, but Astro gets that kill. Chibaritsu gets one on the backside, but that's a 3-for-1 in favor of PPC so far. Silvernail and Chibaritsu still potentially going down. Silvernail getting chased down here. We're going to have to see. Are they going to be able to catch anybody? Cinco hits a Q, and the W is going to actually kill him. 4-for-1 for PPC. Fantastic fight on their part.
You know, I was actually going to say either Friction wants to assassinate it right on Chibi, or you get the Wombo combo that we just got to solve. That was so beautiful.
Yeah, very gorgeously set up with the Scion ultimate from Desolate Earth into the Yasuo ult, into the Orianna ult. Just a huge amount of damage. And now the gold, again, back to essentially even for these teams. Chibaritsu did not go down in that last fight. He seems to be the main damage source for the side of Atlas. So how do you win those fights? How do you win these kind of hard engages if you're on the side of Atlas?
If you're on the side of Atlas, ideally you want to start separating Cobras. This is what you really want to do. Knowing that they have this kind of Wombo combo, and especially with just they're running the kind of champions that are very like they want to get in your face and
Scion ultimate coming down. It's not going to do anything. Okay, keep going.
Yep, not going to quite connect, but just to scare guys. The Scion just wanted to just scare them off, which he does.
All right, so with these teams being so even, talk about kind of the win condition here. Let's start with Atlas. Atlas has a slight gold advantage, has more towers. How do they win this game right now?
Like I said, you want to start getting picks because the picks will allow you to get the towers safely or potentially open up that Baron. Right now, knowing just the nature of Kane's ability, to go through walls and everything, you don't want to really risk the Baron if Friction is alive, and especially if you don't know for certain where he is. And even if you knew he was on the bot side of the map, you're still kind of taking unnecessary risks, I think, at that point. So a pick on Friction, I think, is definitely essential. And ideally, you want to know where Cinco and you want to know where Astro is as well. Because you don't want to risk another Wombo combo like that again. You don't want to get caught out in these choke points. And so that's where that vision control around these objectives is going to be super important. If Atlas plays the vision game well, you ideally want to start separating that Wombo combo up, get a pick on Friction, get a pick on Astro, and start taking away some of those tools that they have to make those team fights happen, to try the ways that they can take out this important Kaisa that you have. That's pretty much all of your damage. You lose the Kaisa, you pretty much lose all of your objective control. Like, Azir can do a lot of damage, don't get me wrong, but knowing that Azir is just not going to do that much when Kane can just bypass that ultimate with his ultimate. So
absolutely. Unfortunately, I don't know I don't know whether or not either team, because you would assume that the team with the Azir and the Kai'Sa would scale better, but as we've seen, PPC is just a superior team fighting team. So if this goes another 10 minutes and we're starting to max out on items, which of these teams ends up winning the game?
Yeah, and especially with both teams having a Mountain Drake, the Baron threat is even more so, because both teams can take that Baron even faster than they normally would be able to. So I want to see Atlas, they've got a little bit of vision around the Baron pit, but I want to see more. I want to see them actually control that river and kind of force the picks out, force Cobras to even think that you're going to do the Baron, and try and find those picks when they start to separate, when you can manage to get maybe Astro to face check or take a wrong pathing again, where you can catch her all alone.
Yeah, and with a Kaisa and an Azir, it actually would go down insanely fast to that team comp. So all it takes is just one decent pick, or even just a mispositioning potentially by any of the members of PPC for them to get that get that Baron. We're gonna see a siege up here on the mid tower by most of the members. Kane, he's currently bot lane to try to fight this Poppy maybe, but now Skarner is predatoring into this fight, looking initially for Desolate Earth, but now on Cinco Gazer. Not sure if he's going to be able to catch anybody. Great ultimate by the Orianna, and the ultimate from Yasuo to follow up to boot. That's a kill for two different. Tomato Farmer gets one. Now the disengage from the Azir and the tower goes up. That's going to be the end of the fight. Ooh. This is not able to get much damage.
If you're out.
Oh, great ultimate by Fuzzes there. Oh, gonna be able to disengage that fight, keep it to a 3-for-0. Still into the tower. This time, Desolate Earth flashes in, tries to get that Q-Fuzz's kill Tomato Farmer, but that means that Cinco Gate is going to be able to kill Gragas, and that's going to be a clean sweep for the side of PPC. Again, that team fight we didn't want to see happen. Now they're going to be able to push for free.
Yeah, no, and that was Atlas making a fatal mistake in the fact that even though Chibi is really fed on this Kaisa, they're the way they drafted, they don't win these team fights when Cobras is the one initiating them. Like that's the problem. That's why you wanted to go for picks instead of the straight 5v5 front to back team, because Cobras ideally is going to win these every single time those ultimates.
Oh, great knockup on the Chipper 2. He gets absolutely bursted by the combination of the Kane and Syncagazer's Urgot. Friction still, he's alive and he ults. Gonna try to come out of the Azir, gonna stay alive with that Death's Dance doing work as well as that passive. This time, Babo Penguin. Oh, Friction barely dies in the end there, but great job by him to try to stay alive for so long, getting multiple kills. Another ultimate by the Orianna, keep Babo Penguin from escaping yet. He's gonna go down here. Cinco Gazer gets another 9 kills on the Urgot this game.
And suddenly Cinco is coming online despite the deficit and the amount of deaths that Tomato has had to endure. Like, Cobras is making up for it because Tomato is always going to be useful now that he's already built that Infinity Edge. And every time he's able to get an ult off thanks to Astro's Shockwaves.
Yeah, Astro's Shockwaves have been absolutely immaculate in this back half of the game. Multiple good ones in just that last fight alone, let alone the 2 before it that were very, very good as well. Starting to kind of switch up how they engage fights between the Astro ultimate, or between the Ori ultimate, my apologies, between the Scion ultimate and between just the Yasuo getting a knockup and ulting in to start a fight. This time Fuzz is gonna get a little boy. Should be able to walk out of this one safely. Yep, he's got his team right here. Silvernail running in with that Predator. Very fast Skarner, but still not able to do anything. Now the Infernal Drake on the plate for Atlas here.
We'll try and take this Infernal Drake, but Cobras wants to contest this.
Yeah, Cinco Gazer gets into that backline. Yeah, the Dragon is super low. Another great ultimate kills Silvernail in that fight. And now there's so much AoE damage going down. Every single member of Atlas is dead now. Just as a last-second ditch, Destiny tries to throw out an ultimate, but too little, too late. Everyone is dead, and that is a free Infernal and a free Baron for the side of PPC. They're looking like they won this game already.
I don't know why Atlas keeps doing this. I don't know how many times Cobras is going to have to teach them the lesson that they don't win these front-to-back 5v5 fights. Atlas needs to look for picks at this point, and they just... I feel like they are brute forcing way too much, or for some reason they feel like they have to, or maybe Chibi being so ahead on the Kaisa made them super overconfident, but you would think after the first couple times that these wombo combos have happened to them that they would figure out that maybe we should try something different and stop with brute force fights.
Yeah, and again, I think something else is that they're really not doing a good job tracking that Orianna ball multiple times now. You just have no idea where it's at. You saw in that last fight, the backline started backing off as soon as somebody, I think it was Scion, got onto the back, and they assumed the ball was on him, but it was on their front line, so their front line just got eradicated by the Ori ultimate, and then there was nothing left in front line, so they just went right to backline and killed everybody before any damage came out.
Yeah, and Atlas is just struggling. Like, they can't really disengage these fights. Like, you look at Cobra's team comp with the Scion, the Orianna, the Earth, like, their team doesn't really have disengage. Like, every champion in their arsenal just wants to go in hard and keep beating you down with a hammer. And while Atlas does have, like, the Gragas cask and everything, they're not able to really use it effectively because Cobras is so good at executing these team fights. They don't get a chance to disengage, because ideally with the Gragas you want to use that ultimate to separate Cobra, to try and get this Yasuo and Orianna away from each other so that they can't work off of their ultimates together.
Yeah, a big issue with this composition is that they want to be able to get picks with things like the Skarner, things like the Azir ultimate, even the Gragas ultimate. But if they're using those things to disengage the fight, using those things to try to not die, then they can't use them to get picks, and they just lose the back like you were saying, they lose the 5v5 team fight. Now they're sieging up on this bot tower, probably going to look to just get this as best as they can. I'm surprised they don't have one more person in the mid lane right now, maybe Gazer, who can try to push that one in as well at the same time. But their bot wave, or their top wave, my apologies, is pushing in their favor, so that should reach the tower at some point as well.
Like, I want to see someone from Atlas make the heroic play. I want to see someone try and look for that, like, flank. Maybe the Poppy, maybe the Azir, maybe something. Someone needs to make that heroic call, because front-to-back team fighting, you're not going to win this. Even if you try the heroic 5v5 in this method, it's just not going to work. Like, Fuzz, Silver, somebody find the flank and try and get these squishies, like...
What I want to see is I want to see Destiny split off the front line, like Friction, Gazer. I want to see him split those two immediately, then Babo, Penguin, ult everyone else away. But Friction getting really aggressive with his backline. It's ulted by Urgot. Cinco's going to get that kill very easily. And Friction isn't even close to dead yet. The ultimate comes out only on the Silver, gets ulted by the Orianna as well. So many picks come out here. Now Fuzz is in a lot of trouble. Destiny was still alive. He's just trying to get away from the Urgot right now. He's the only one left. If he goes down to Tomato Farmer, and that's the game right there.
And that looks like it's definitely going to be game. Atlas, you know, I will give them credit. They at least did not just sit on the Nexus and wait for the game to end. They went down fighting.
Absolutely. Got a little bit split in that last team fight. Had a little bit of miscommunication. These team fights went very poorly. It's very unfortunate given the fact that they had such a good lead in the early game. PPC going to be the team that walks away with game 1 so far. What do you think the correcting thing is? Do you think you go back to the same team comp if you're Atlas, or do you change things up, and what do you change if you do so?
I think if you're Atlas and you look at the way that game went, the comp they drafted itself wasn't actually bad, per se. Only things I would change is I would prefer a better top lane pick. I would actually rather them just hard focus Synchro to minimize his impact. I'd rather them get a pushing mid laner, like, that can also team fight, perhaps. Like, the Azir wasn't the worst pick, but I don't think it was the best option that Atlas really had. And other than that, just the execution. Like, we saw Atlas was able to get some good things to happen early on in the game. And at one point, they were 7 kills ahead of Cobras, but that didn't net them anything was the problem. They didn't really take their lead to the fullest extent. Whereas Cobras, once they started getting their lead, they were just like, hey, we can snowball this. Hey, we can take this fight. We can take this fight. And kind of like, they knew what their team comp was capable of doing, and they went after that to the fullest extent.
Absolutely. Well, we'll have to see exactly how these two teams play against each other in Game 2. We're going to take a short break here from Games XP, but do stick around. We still have plenty more League of Legends to play and plenty more to watch, so we'll see you. Do not touch that browser. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Games XP Week 10 matchup between PPC and Atlas Esports. We saw Game 1 go to the side of PPC in what was at least unconvincing at the beginning, but definitely became more apparent as the game went on. We were talking just before the break about how they could kind of change. We're about to get into draft and see what the changes will be. What do you think? What do you think they're going to change about this draft compared to the last one? Anything major?
I don't know what they are going to change, but what I would like to see them change is definitely a better top lane matchup and a better mid lane matchup. I think those definitely need to change. I think the bot lane was actually okay. I don't think the bot lane matchup was at all bad. And it's not that like picking Azir, picking Poppy was detrimental, but I don't think they even utilized those picks as effectively as they could have. So yeah. I actually would prefer them just focus entirely on Synchro as far as the bans go. Don't worry about really anyone else unless you maybe want to target some bans towards Friction if for some reason he doesn't pick his jungler in the first round. But Synchro and Friction are just such monsters, and they are by far what carries Cobra through the laning phase into the mid game, and you need to do something about that. Like you have to, and sometimes you have to acknowledge just where that pressure is coming from. Get Synchro off of these power, bruiser, juggernaut top lane picks. Keep his Renekton away from him. Also take away things like the Urgot and force him onto something that doesn't have as much freedom to win those 1v1s. You know, force him back onto the Poppy himself. See if you can force him onto something like the Ornn, the Scion, the Maokai, something that will be less impactful, and then put your own top laner hopefully in something actually like the Ornn or the Maokai yourself in a tank matchup is ideally what you want. But letting Synchro play these just bruisery, over-aggressive top laners that he can just kind of CS leads on is not good. Most teams are just not having a fun time and end up dropping games to this team, partially for that very reason.
Absolutely. Well, now we're about to kick it into picks and bans. We're starting out with these ban phases, of course, and both teams get all three in this game, but Atlas will be losing 2 again for the E-sub from last time, of course. So we're going to see what kind of adaptions, and already immediately the Urgot ban away from Cinco Gazer. Take it away.
You know, picks that do come to mind, in my opinion, if they play it, I would like to see Destiny actually pick something like the Galio or Malzahar, or even Lysandra, something that will definitely bring more mid-game power and more utility to the team earlier on.
Fear controls them.
Yeah. Now here's my question. Here's one for you. Do you think the power of the bot lane will be different for Tomato Farmer Desolate Earth if they go for a more traditional bot lane? So say Tomato Farmer picks something like an ADC and Desolate Earth picks something like, you know, a typical support, something along those lines. Do you think Tomato Farmer Desolate Earth are good enough to beat Chiburitsu and Babo Pengu, or was it more that Chiburitsu and Babo Pengu are just better bot laners?
I'm actually not entirely sure either way. I kind of see them both as even, because I've seen Tomato on traditional AD carries before, and like I said, I think Cobra wins because they are generally mechanically better and kind of execute their things better, but they still lack a polish and a cleanliness to things. And when I've seen Tomato on traditional AD carries in previous games, I've noticed that Cobras don't really utilize sometimes the picks that he gets the most effectively. Like we've seen Tomato play Misfortune before, and in that game, Cobras they didn't really utilize that Misfortune pick very well. They didn't try to exert the lane dominance that she brings. And so that would be my concern. Is you put Tomato on a traditional AD carry, is Cobra prepared to really utilize it? And for some reason, Atlas have let the Renekton go through, and I think, you know, I don't want to jinx it, but I think Atlas just sealed their fate by letting that happen.
So here's my thought process. Okay, they obviously like knew that Renekton was available. Okay. So the thought was, okay, we banned Yasuo because Tomato, I don't know why they banned Yasuo. The Tomato Farmer wasn't a ridiculous thing. But either they are sacking bot lane so they can get a very strong mid and bot for whatever reason, or they have a counter pick ready for this. And given that they were willing to give over things like Graves is available for Friction, they just gave over the Lucian to Tomato Farmer, I think they've got something prepared for this top lane right now.
Jhin coming out. I think that's an okay answer to the Lucian. I would have preferred if Atlas actually could have gotten the Lucian pick themselves, but I'll accept the Jhin as a fine consolation prize for the second best thing they could have taken.
I don't like the Jhin pick. I really don't, because I don't think it synergizes super well with the Braum in lane. So, like, Braum is a pretty strong laner into most picks, no matter who your AD is. But with Jhin, it becomes a lot more difficult to kind of, you know, get that synergy with the auto attack and the passive from Braum. So it's not that it's impossible.
Now that I see the Braum, I wholeheartly agree with you. Like, Jhin into Lucian is fine in and of itself. Jhin into Lucian paired with a Braum, no.
That's a little bit harder of a pill to swallow. We saw the Poppy come out, so Poppy is the answer to Renekton, unless that's going to go into Silvernil. Could definitely be possible, but we'll have to wait and see. Orianna locked back in for Astro. I thought her ultimates were incredible in last game. Past the laning phase, I thought she was a really good player. So,
oh yeah, for sure, I definitely agree. As far as the Poppy pick into the Renekton, I don't like it. I think you're just gonna end up with the same problem that Alice ended up last game in the top lane, where you're gonna do okay into the matchup, but you need to do better than okay if you're Atlas's top laner. Like, Fuzz needs to, like, be set up for success, and this is like, the Poppy pick tells me that Alice is just choosing to go the route of, we're just gonna kind of pray and hope that our top lane doesn't bleed out as much as it could.
Wait, can I interject something really quick here? Our competition in betting is over, so you can no longer bet for which team you think is actually going to win. 100% of you think that PPC is going to win this game. That's right. 100% of the audience currently thinks PPC has the edge over Atlas Esports. I'm actually not sure if that's the first time that's happened. I would imagine PPC or White Lotus would be the team to, like, have that happen, but I have no idea if that's ever happened before.
I have no idea either, but you can see, like, Cobras this game around, they are drafting a lot of early game aggression, and pairing that with an Orianna that's going to carry you into mid and late game control, like, they are drafting very well, and Atlas is showing that this is something they seem to struggle with, is they do not draft very well. They first pick the Braum, they see the Lucian taken away, so they're not going to get a Lucian Braum pairing, which would actually kind of be ideal for Atlas, but you know, then they go for this awkward setup with getting the Jhin and then throwing a Poppy to a Renekton.
Now, is this a jungle Malphite or is it a support Malphite? You're the analyst, you decide. Is it a support Malphite or it is a jungle Malphite?
I think it's support Malphite, unless we're going to see something crazy, like it could be full AP mid lane Malphite, Orianna support.
Could be AP jungle Malphite. I do know that's a thing. With an Emax in the jungle, you actually clear multi-target camps insanely fast, like ridiculously fast as Malphite. I don't know if it's something that people play commonly, but if Friction's been playing it, that's certainly something that I could see him playing with the aggression. On the opposite side, we're going to see another Amumu. Maybe. Come on. I don't know. Okay. Yeah, the Amumu does come out here. What do you think this last pick's going to be?
I don't know what Atlas is actually trying to do with this comp. Like, they're kind of just throwing a bunch of random things together and hoping it works.
Yeah. I kind of see that. Oh, boy. That's probably a support Malphite. Okay, Desolate Earth showing up on this bot. Basically worthless pre-6, but post-6 becomes a very real threat to completely take over the game. So I'm excited to see the Malphite support here. We also see Friction on the Pantheon jungle, something that's very aggressive that can go into the jungle of Amumu and take away camps. Tell us about these compositions really quick.
It's going to Cobra's hands down. I look at Atlas and what they've done, and I'm just like, unless you think you're the superior mechanically skilled players, you shot yourself in the foot for some unknown reason, and I'm trying to figure out why.
Yeah, I have to agree. Like, the one thing I guess, I was about to say, like, maybe their team fighting is better, but with a Malphite Orianna, it's just so difficult. That is a Games XP special, that Wombo Combo Malphite Ori Ultimate. Something we see here a lot. I don't know.
Well, it's just, what are you going to team fight with, though? Like, you see a Mumu.
Yeah.
Mumu is a team fight champion, sure, but where's the AoE damage? The closest thing you have is the Syndra, and, like, Syndra's not really AoE. Like, she's bursty, but she's not, like, she's not going to kill multiple targets at once. She's really good at killing one target. Like, what are they thinking? What is the Amumu supposed to facilitate? You've got a Poppy, you've got a Jhin. Where's the AoE damage? That's what you usually pair an Amumu with. And
they have, to me, they've completely sacked their early game. Any early game presence they could have had, they've completely given away. Braum has a little bit of early game. They picked Jhin. So, like, I get, other than, like, maybe Syndra, like, Poppy is going to lose against Renekton almost definitely. Amumu is going to get counter-jungled and counter-ganked by Pantheon constantly. Syndra is your only winning, like, possibility, and that's only a possibility. I would assume that that's a winning lane because Destiny seemed like he did well last game. So, like, how did they even win this game? Like, how do you think Atlas wins this game?
The way Atlas wins this game is kind of what I said earlier, like, you must be the better, like, players mechanically than Cobras. Like, that's the only real way you win. Is if Atlas does not win their laning phase, they will lose. That's how this game is going to go, because Friction on this Pantheon definitely going to abuse the Samumu, and that's what's going to happen, because Cobras drafted so much early game, they need to lose in the laning phase. If they do not, they will just run with this game. It's going to be like, anyone that did watch Worlds, this is like watching Edward Gaming against the other play-in teams. Like, that's what's going to happen here if Atlas doesn't pull a really good laning phase.
Yeah, we'll have to see how those two lanes interact with one another, but we're going to be taking a short break here. Do not touch that browser. We're in for a phenomenal game to watch in Game 2 between PPC and Atlas. See you in just a little bit.
My name is Tim Borseth, and I own and operate Games XP in Decorah, Iowa. Games XP is a geek paradise. We carry everything from Pong and Atari all the way to Xbox One and PS4. And all the games that would go with those consoles as well. We also carry a ton of movies. We have handheld games. We have Magic the Gathering, Yu-Gi-Oh!, Pokemon. We have D&D and Pathfinder. We carry Warhammer 40K. We have a vintage Star Wars selection. This place is great. My wife and I have had 6 kids, and they are so much fun to work with here at the store. They run the store as much as I do.
And we now repair cell phones, game consoles, computers, and small electronics.
Our store is instant fun. Not only is there cool music and cool stuff to look at, but we have a game room that is so much fun. It's free to play, and you just plug in your game system and enjoy life. The Game XP motto is bringing joy to people's lives through our products, people, and a place to play. So you have got to come to Decorah, Iowa, and check out Games XP and experience this geek gaming paradise.
welcome back, Games XP viewers. We're back again with this Week 10 matchup between PPC and Atlas Esports. Right now, PPC is coming out with a very aggressive composition on the red side against the more scaling, more waiting, patient composition from the side of Atlas. Once again, 5-pointing. Let's hear some more of those strong words that you had about the team comp of Atlas, if you will.
I don't know. It's a mystery I really want to solve. Like, somebody from Atlas, please tell me what was the thought process behind this? The Amumu last pick. I have to know, because that person is a freaking genius.
Again, it is possible, potentially, that they went for pure comfort. Now, I don't know a lot of the champions that came from their side, but it is possible that they went for comfort more than anything.
Maybe. Now, the one thing I am thinking of that could actually throw some legitimacy to this had better be the legendary grenade Amumu. The full AP, the whole shebang.
Okay, if this is a full AP Amumu, I will actually give credit to Atlas for playing it, because that is going to be entertaining as heck to watch. Let's hear in the chat. We had this discussion just a little bit during the break. Which champion do you think dies first? I want to hear in the chat which one you think dies first in this game because of the early aggression. Could definitely be anybody, but who do you think it's going to be? We see the initial start of the junglers. It looked like Amumu got a... oh, okay, yeah, just a little bit of aggression here in the bot lane, but looked like Amumu went solo, did not actually get a leash in this lane, or in the jungle. Pantheon went for the same buff, both went for blue. Amumu only cleared the one camp, now going immediately for his red to try to protect him from that Pantheon invade.
Yeah, actually, it's an interesting thing that Amumu did decide to not get a leash.
Wow, Tomato Farmer getting very highly aggressed on here. Yeah, the advantage of having the Braum is that in that early game, you do have to pay lots of respect. We see friction towards this bot side of the map after taking that Rift Scuddler. He was spotted on that Pixel Ward, though, so not able to get much done. Simka Gazer immediately pushing in Fuzzes on the Poppy. Already reminiscent of every other Renekton game we've ever seen him play. So.
Oh yeah, like I honestly in some ways don't really want to watch this top lane just because I've seen Cinco's Renekton and I don't want to see the things that he's going to do to Fuzz this game.
It's not always fun to watch such a demolition. It is possible maybe that Fuzzes is prepared for this, or at least willing to play incredibly safe and lose a lot of CS so that he doesn't die on this Poppy pick. But we'll have to wait and see. Junglers right now relatively even. Amumu, what? That is some very strange pathing. So Amumu went blue, went immediately to his Krugs, did not take his red, and now is all the way back to the other side of his jungle to take Gromp. Am I missing something? Is that a new jungle path, or is it just...
The only thing I can think of is there might be an experience thing, where Amumu thinks the experience from the specific camps he took in that order was worth the time he spent traveling between sides, is the only thing I can think of. But I don't know for certain if that's actually true, but that would be my guess.
It's also possible he's doing a very protective route to keep himself away from this Pantheon. Yeah, as you see, the Pantheon's invading, and he's not actually going to catch him with anything in that topside jungle. So pretty good there, denying any sort of thing there. He's behind the turret right now, hasn't been seen yet, but yeah, I guess that's what Amumu was going for. Is he decided to clear the important camps, and then he just went to immediately clear down. So at least 200 IQ routing right here by the Amumu to get him away from the Pantheon.
I'm thinking that might have actually been on purpose. Maybe he was trying to, as we see.
Just avoid him on purpose. Tomato Farmer gets aggressed on, but he's not going to die. God, the camera took us away. We weren't able to see anything. Cinco got pushed into the wall, but Chibaritsu might actually get killed again. Desolate Earth got the first kill onto the Braum. Now going to get auto to death. Oh, the E just missed. That's such a shame. Silvernail is down here, but so is the Pantheon. Yeah, a little bit of aggression literally everywhere on the map, and nothing was gained except for that kill in the bottom lane. Great job by Desolate Earth and Tomato Farmer to get that kill and not die in the process. Phenomenal job there.
I actually think Chibi could have been a bit more aggressive there. Like, Tomato was so low, and Malphite didn't have mana. I think Chibi could have actually just walked over and auto Tomato and gotten a free kill and walked away still.
It is possible. it looked like he burned maybe his flash in that exchange, or at least right before that exchange. In any case, it's not a terrible thing because the kill did go over to the Malphite, but you know, you don't want to give up anything if you're the side of Atlas with the early game aggression that this team has.
But as we can see, not even 6 minutes into this game, look at what Cinco's doing to that top lane on Fuzz. Already nearly doubling that CS.
Yeah, now he is. Oh my goodness! Now he went immediately into that team map. Excuse me.
I'm gonna say it now. By 15 minutes, Cinco's gonna have at least triple. Probably have a tower by then too.
My goodness, that is some bold words, but you can't actually deny it. The man is a great Renekton player. Now has that team app to push Poppy in even faster. You gotta think maybe him and Friction are planning some invades, planning some mid roams to try to get this entire top side of the map just in his favor. Poppy has had an experience, but doesn't have enough health right now. Only has about 1,200 health. Just the one armor item. Now Cinco has 6, so the threat of engage is legitimately there. Cinco half-health fuzzes with just some solid comboing. Does take a fair amount of trade damage in that, and the Corrupting Potion will make sure it doesn't go in. Oh, Destiny's actually the one that gets that that scuttle. And Silvernails continues to get aggressive onto Astro here. Yeah, Destiny has level 6, so they have to be careful there, but still great job by Destiny and Silvernail competing for that Scuttle Crab. Oh, now Poppy engages onto Cinco Gazer. Not sure he's going to try to stack out. Oh, Silvernail's here. Was Cinco's going to be able to get out? No. Poppy ults him. Yeah, not enough damage. Phenomenal job by Cinco to get out of that very rough situation that he was in.
Yeah, a shame. Cinco was actually so close to dying there. If Fuzz had just aimed the Q in a different spot or direction, might have narrowly gotten that kill. Unfortunate that the ult and flash will get used. Not going to get that kill, though.
I saw that aggression in the bot lane as well, almost getting Desolate Earth. Has to burn that flash, but level 6 will bring about a large amount of pressure from this Malphite pick. Tomato Farmer getting rooted up here. Nothing crazy so far. Gonna have to see what the interaction between this bot lane is once that level 6 is hit. The Jhin backed and got a BF sword initially, and the Lucian backed and gets a Vampiric Scepter and boots initially. So Cinco Gazer getting aggressive onto Poppy here in the top lane, but not gonna amount to much yet.
I know, I actually want to see Silver come and gank this bot lane when they hit their level 6 power spike. Just knowing that you have that damage and item discrepancy right now, look how low Tomato is getting on this Lucian. Like, if Amumu can land the CC on Tomato, that should be a free kill, easy kill for Chibi to pick up.
Yeah, and that is obviously what they want. Again, with the aggressive picks that they've taken so far, they really haven't gotten much done. The Amumu's still very much competitive with this Pantheon in terms of farm. Pantheon hasn't gotten any really big ganks off yet. The Lucian Malphite only with the 1 kill on the Malphite, and Cinco Gazer, despite being on his signature Renekton pick, hasn't quite gotten anything. He has a pretty good CS lead, but that's about it. Now getting aggressive, trying to prove me wrong here. It's stunned into the wall, but Fuzz is not going to take much damage. Yeah, a little bit rough here. Oh, Cinco misses that last Q, otherwise he might have gotten some pretty decent healing, but unfortunately misses that one. Still pushing Poppy under. Really important thing to do.
Silver is spending a lot of time just wandering around this bot lane. He's wasting his time, and I want to see him just commit to a play instead of kind of sitting around down there.
A little bit of aggression here into the bot lane. Tomato Farmer and Desolate Earth are able to dodge out, despite the fact that Silvernail was there and ready for the pickup.
Yeah, they're gonna get spotted out by the control ward that's there.
Gets stunned in the back wall, but Fuzz has to take a different route now. The ultimate was up for Cinco Gazer. He can zone him off of that farm. Let another wave crash in here. That's going to be really rough for him to deal with.
Friction gonna go for some friendly jungle invading again, but not gonna find anything. I actually will give Silver credit on this Amumu. He is actually making Friction's counter jungling completely worthless the times that he's popped in there. But instead, he wants the tower dive. Yeah,
this time he gets knocked out here. Good job by Fuzzes. My bad. I forgot his name there for a second. Great job by Fuzzes to knock out Cinco so that they couldn't continue.
Or is it Fuzzies? Or I don't know. For some reason, I thought it'd be pronounced like Fuzzies or something.
Fuzzes. I don't know. Let's call them Fuzz. Fuzzes. Fuzzies. Fizzies, I'm sorry. I don't know. Something like that. So. Still no aggression here from the early game composition. They have the Pantheon. They have the Malphite with level 6. And they have, the Renekton. They have some pretty decent CS lead in the top lane, but other than that, no real advantage taken. Probably first point of contention, as you were saying, about 10-minute mark. Look at this tower damage, already huge. Synco Gazer took aggro for that. That's actually kind of scary. Now Pantheon's back. Uh-oh. And this might be first blood, and it's going over to Friction. Great job. And that should be first tower, too, because there's no one on this side of the map to answer.
And that looks so good for Fuzz, but unfortunately didn't realize Friction was going to be there to just make sure, secure his top laner safety and secure that first tower. And that's where the snowball started. Atlas needed to win and get to that snowball first, but instead, Cobra is going to be the one to take the first initiation on these objectives.
Desolate Earth walking up mid lane, now walking down river. They have Tomato Farmer on the one side. This could be a 3v3, but they're not looking for it quite yet. The Dragon's just going to go over to the side of... Oh! Desolate Earth takes tons of damage. Gonna see if he gets... Oh, he ults! Gets revenge kill, the ultimate from the Orion. Oh no, the Q from Silvernote keeps him in place. That's probably going to be a counter kill. Oh no! Everyone survives that! Everyone survived! That was insane!
Three people walked away from that with like 200 HP. I'm so upset that nobody died there. 3
different baits all completely failed. No one got killed in that scenario. Such a shame. But still, great plays by
all the summoner spells that were used and nobody dies. Like, that's so frustrating when you're involved in those kinds of plays. You're just like, we spent all that and nothing?
Yeah, nothing. Really? Kind of a shame, but nothing you can do about that. Still, great job. Synco Gazer starting to get more and more aggressive onto Fuzzes in this one. Tomato Farmer going to get rooted up. That's bad. He's going to get ulted and exhausted at one. He just flashes out. Nothing he can do. Chibaritsu takes tons of damage. This could be bad. But Desolate Earth without his ultimate isn't that intimidating on this Malphite support pick. So, oh, Tomato Farmer, you missed the cannon. Come on, man.
Ground shield OP. That's another frustrating like tool to deal with in skirmishes, especially in like bot lanes. Like, okay, the Jhin Braum like as a bot lane duo is a very awkward pairing, but still, like when Lucian fires the calling and everything, and watching Braum just shield block so much of that damage just makes a lot of champions like Lucian very sad to just watch so much of that damage go to waste.
Yeah, it's kind of a shame, but at very minimum, they're keeping... Somehow, Chibaritsu and Babo Penguin, they have the more kind of reasonable bot lane in the grand scheme of things, so they do have that advantage over the Lucian Malphite, but Lucian Malphite, come teamfight time, though, will be pretty big. I want to see Friction really start to get work done now. He has the mobility boots, and he has his warrior done. He needs to start affecting these lanes or something a little bit more, because if he just keeps farming, Amumu's actually going to do more come later games. So,
yeah, I want to see Silver make more proactive plays. Like, Friction has had more impact in this game so far than Silver needs to get in there, especially when you've got that Jhin winning, but... Oh...
Some F's in the chat. Respect for the Pavo Penguin getting caught out in that mid-river, unfortunately, by the combination of Friction and Desolate Earth. No all used by Desolate Earth. He still has that available Silvernail here, and now Friction going to be in the area that's a risky sell. Oh, kind of a weak ultimate there from Astra, but Desolate Earth kind of saves it. Oh, great flash by Silvernail. Going to be able to do a good job getting out on that one. Destiny gets the counter kill onto the 2-kill Desolate Earth. That's a shutdown, but then they trade it right back onto Destiny, so I think it was a 2-for-2, all things said and done.
And again, another fight that actually looked really good for Atlas, but Cobra is just quicker on those rotations. Astro coming down when she did, like, perfectly. Comboing the Shockwave with the Malphite Unstoppable just saved them so hard right there.
Yeah, absolutely. Glad to see the Lucian finally picks up his first kill, so he's going to be able to start getting some impact in this one. The shutdown for the Syndra means Syndra could maybe start getting a little bit more aggressive. They are committing for this bot lane tower, not to be able to do anything yet, though. Tomato Farmer chunking Babo Penguin to half health, but Zebeek's going to come in. Ultimate only hits Astro. Astro probably going to go down here. Yeah, not even a fight there. Just going to be a make sure that Tomato Farmer walks out healthy and clean. Chibaritsu This takes a little bit of damage, but nothing crazy. But now the Syndra has to deal with the Renekton top without her ultimate. This is a very risky proposition. Cinco Gazer could just walk under this tower. Yeah, just like that. That's what I meant. He can walk under and then pay grand respect to her because she's fine lady.
Ideally, you don't want to send Destiny to be the one in the side lane against Synchro. Like you run the risk that he's gonna.
You run the risk that Friction immediately E's and Q's and tries to kill you. Oh, that's exactly what just happened. Still, the pressure on that top lane from the Renekton is very severe. Tomato Farmer getting aggressive on the Chiburitsu. No support in the area. Babo Penguin going to try and kill him. Flash Q auto from Chiburitsu. Fantastic combo, getting him that kill onto Tomato Farmer.
That was actually really nice. Props to Babo for that one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Chiburitsu really looking like a very, very good ADC in this one. Tomato Farmer, I consider to be one of the better ADCs in the league until tonight, where he's kind of getting at least outclassed by Chiburitsu in his role individually more than anything. So
I know, even in game 1, like Chibi looked pretty solid. That's why I think it's just a shame that with some of these teams, both of them, although more so Atlas, that when you have players that seem to be the ones that tend to do well, but the team doesn't really rally behind them.
Absolutely. We saw that Friction actually had to flash over the pit to avoid being killed by the Poppy because he was trying to take Rift Herald, but now Cinco Gazer's here, the team, and the cavalry has arrived. Desolate Earth with a good ultimate, and Cinco Gazer walks out with a kill there. The ball in perfect place, able to catch Destiny. Tomato Farmer now comes in from the side, gets ulted. The ult still hitting Silvernail, though. Destiny doesn't have ult yet. You see Friction coming in on the backside, gets ult. Cinco Gazer gets another one. No kills yet for Atlas. They still have Destiny's ultimate to work with, and they have Babu Penguins as well. But I just don't know if they have the damage yet to be able to take on these people. We'll have to see if they can get a pick here, but I don't think they will. Destiny can still pop someone in this fight, if nothing else, but it looks like the fight's starting to taper down. Friction with some really risky jungling here, trying to take his Raptors, but looks like he'll be fine after that one.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I was watching Friction take those Raptors. Was actually concerned we might see the classic jungler dies to jungle camps. Instead, though, Atlas, no, maybe Synchro might want this Infernal, and Atlas just runs away. They're just like, we want none of this.
The last one was an Ocean. They don't want to give this one up.
I think Atlas made the right call here. Like, I'm sure they really want this Infernal, but you see Synchro walk in the vicinity, and you're just like, no. Just don't come anywhere near this guy right now.
Yeah. Grouped is 5. This is a very intimidating squad, but not grouped. I guess they can be kind of pulled apart. I mean, with the Jin, with the Syndra, individual damage, single target damage is really high on the side of Atlas Esports, but on the side of PPC, if they are together as 5, we saw in that last one, if their engage is cohesive, they can just walk away with fights. Doesn't matter how strong they are, probably. Now, Cinco Gazer has a huge advantage. He can start to really affect these side lanes. Has 170 CS. That's a ton. He's just so far ahead right now.
Yeah, no, Atlas did not draft the tools that they would need to do a proper 5v5 team fight and actually win. Cobra, the fact that they have the Orianna and the Malphite, this is the repeat of what we saw in game 1, where Atlas, for some reason, is either forcing or allowing themselves to be forced into these 5v5 team fights that Cobra are just typically going to win, and Atlas needs to put up the brakes on this. Stop fighting, just play the map. If you play the map properly, I think Atlas can actually win this game, but if they insist on the 5v5s, I don't think they're going to win.
The one issue that they're running into is that Cinco Gazer is massively ahead, and if you respond to him with one champion, he is going to run through that champion no matter who it is at this point in the game. So he's just able to get these 2 side towers immediately. The rest of the 4 can just sit in the mid lane and let him split push away because no one can respond to him at the moment.
Oh yeah, and that's for sure like an issue. But it would have been ideal had Atlas not let this become the problem it did in the first place. Both things, they neither managed to control Synchro in the laning phase, and they didn't snowball a bot lane that was actually winning.
Absolutely. we still have yet to see the interaction of the Orianna Ball and the Malphite ultimate. I want to see that at least once in this game. Tomato Farmer eating forward, getting a little bit of damage on the Destiny. The ult gets popped as well. Bobo Penguin throws up the shield, and nothing gets through that. Now Silverton misses the Q, not able to get anything, trying to engage on Tomato Farmer, but with the Orianna and with the Malphite waiting in the wings, you have to be terrified about what the kind of engage can happen. Now see
calling Fuzz over to the side lane already after having already taken a tower. Atlas, being dragged around the map at the whims of Cobra. Cobra is actually the one now, even playing the split push better than Atlas, just pulling them to whatever lane that they want them to.
Yeah, absolutely. With the strength of this Pantheon, with the strength of this early game composition, they can kind of do whatever they want in macro sense right now. The Baron is up. They don't take Baron particularly fast. Not yet, at least. When the Lucian gets some more items, he can take it pretty fast. Now has Essence Reaver. I think it just says he bought that. Yeah, no, it doesn't. But never mind. That's not an Essence Reaver on Lucian. That's an Essence Reaver on Renekton, of course. How could you forget? Oh my goodness, that's going to be a massive issue for the rest of the game. Cinco saying he doesn't care about team fights. He wants to 1v1 in these side lanes, and he doesn't care who it is. They're going to die.
Oh yeah, definitely, for sure. And Lucian building Stinger? Is Tomato going for the meme Trinity Force Lucian?
It looks like Trinity Force Lucian. I know back in the day, that's actually how you built him. You used to build him exactly like this.
Oh yeah, you definitely used to do that, but nowadays it's like a meme item.
Yeah, it seems pretty bad, but now Single Gazer getting engaged upon by Silver. Oh my goodness, the damage he's putting on a Silvernail still, and he's not able to get enough. Not able to get a return kill. The CC from the two of them combined was enough to keep him locked down enough, but now this mid lane in danger going down. Tomato Farmer went top, so not able to get much push. So now mid tower has push advantage for Atlas, so we'll have to see.
Yeah, that is exactly what you want. With Atlas is Cobra is not perfect. Like, they're absolutely not. Like, as you just saw there, they can make mistakes, and catching Synchro of all people out like that alone is exactly what you want. And I want to see Atlas do something with Synchro being dead. Like, please, this is the best window of opportunity you have right now to get a tower, relieve some of that map pressure. As soon as Synchro's back up, the pressure is going to come right back.
The issue is that they just, like, with the Orianna, they don't have a push power to fight against a Ludens and Sword Shoes Orianna. So without that push power, without any particular sideway tower low, they really can't go anywhere. They can't push any objectives. The only one on the map at the time was Baron, and they can't really commit for Baron with a Jhin and with a Syndra at this point in the game.
Yeah, so we're going to be the one to enter the side lanes.
Oh, here comes an engagement from Friction. Immediate flash E or W onto Dick. He's going to be able to cleanse out of that one. Destiny gets a counter kill onto the Pantheon, despite the great aggression by him. Not going to be able to get anything. Tomato Farmer, a little bit of risk here on this other side. Yeah, right now PPC is looking a little bit more scattered than usual, but now 5 in the mid lane for Atlas means that Cinco gets pressure on this bot tower.
Yeah, you've got some low health targets. You know Cinco's in the bot lane. Atlas need to force this. And
Cinco needs Fuzzes in that. So now the Poppy and the Alligator are going at it right now.
Yeah, no, I disagree with this completely. When Cinco was bot lane, you might have sacrificed that bot lane turret, but you had an advantageous fight to potentially take in the mid lane with a 5v4. And
more issues, getting another 2v2 that Cinco Gazer took. And Fuzz is able to get a kill. Yeah, these 2v2s that they're catching with the Poppy. Oh no, and now Astro's going to go down as well. The Orianna goes down to Chibaritsu's Jhin. Little by little, they're getting these pickoffs, and I think they're going to get their first tower. They're going to start being able to pick up objectives here.
Yeah, no, so that's fine. So I was disagreeing with them just sending Fuzz to deal with Synchro, but if they want to send 2 people again, knowing that they can keep killing Synchro because he's by himself, I say go for it. Like, this is exactly how Atlas should be playing this. Let Cobra be caught out. Catch the members alone by themselves in those side lanes, because you win these pick skirmishes. You don't win the 5v5s, but you do win those skirmishes. And that's what's getting them the ability to get these objectives now. They finally got some towers under their belt. They can take some of these jungle camps. We'll secure this Ocean Drake. So yeah, I think Atlas is finally playing this game actually exactly how they should.
Yeah. Especially with the Lucian going a really expensive build with this Trinity Force. Unfortunately, he's a little bit now behind the Jhin. pretty massive.
Yeah,
About 100 gold
Tomato's
behind
making a
items.
mistake. Building that Trinity Force does put off his power spike by a lot. Like, that Trinity Force isn't going to be completed for a while yet. Meanwhile, Chibi here on the Jin already got the rapid fire cannon going. He's going to hurt. He's going to hurt a lot.
Absolutely. See, are there any other item changes that have happened so far? You see the Morella now completed for the Cinder. She's really going to be able to start, or she's going to start hurting like crazy now. We see the Jin towards the BF, sort of assumably going into an IE after this. No changes.
Where I want to see, I want to see Atlas push this envelope. So they've gotten some advantageous fights, knowing that Chibi is as strong as they are right now on this Jin. Atlas, I want to see them force the map. They have the pressure right now. They have time before Tomato is going to come online and be a problem again. They've been able to deal with Synchro when he's been caught out alone in the side lanes. So,
Pantheon just ulted out in that top lane, by the way, in case anyone didn't see that. He was getting engaged on, but and the ultimate. The Q and the ultimate from Silvernail in the 1v2 situation, the Amumu trying his hardest to carry this game. The Jin ultimate's coming out. I don't think it's going to net him a kill. Syncagaze are getting 1v1 right now by Fuzzes. Takes almost no damage from the Crocodile, despite all of that gold advantage, despite that CS lead, still not able to get much into the Poppy right now. Well, the ultimate's going to come out, and they're going to see exactly what happens here. Cinco proxying the wave right now, trying to stack up that rage bar, get a little bit more health. Yeah, Fuzzes, he's too tanky. He takes no damage, and now Fuzzes, oh my goodness, shuts him out. The ultimate Fuzzes takes him down in a solo kill.
And Fuzz is going to be the hero that Atlas needs. Down Synchro in a solo kill. That is exactly the kind of heroic plays that needed to come out of Atlas.
Yeah, after such a good early game from Cinco's Renekton, it's shocking to see him lose now. I mean, she has 3 armor items, in fairness, but like he went this aggressive build so he could split push against her, and now she's just caught up. The Poppy is there, and they can't do anything.
Yeah, no, that actually puts Cobra in a tough situation for the first time in this series, I think, knowing that there's Synchro, one of their star players, is actually in a position where he is struggling in a 1v1 matchup.
Yeah, with a Renekton and with a Pantheon, where neither one is very fed, neither one can really do much, it's a frustrating time. Yeah, Fuzz is getting a little bit aggressive on Tomato Farmer. He's forward and gonna die immediately. Desolate Earth tanks an ultimate from the thing. Silvernail gets ulted exclusively by the Orianna. Babu Penguin throws down the ultimate. They get a trade of kills. Desolate Earth gets one, Fuzzy gets one on the opposite side. Syncagaze is going to go down here. Tomato Farmer going to try to clean up this fight. Silvernail gets him with that. Oh my goodness. Trade of kills here. Still not quite done. Friction with a great flash and W. Still going to get cleansed out by Chibaritsu. Tomato Farmer still trying to make it work. Still trying to make it happen. Now the Orianna, oh my goodness, 4 for 3 or 5 for 3. My apologies, 5 for 3 in the end for the side of Atlas Esports. Able to get they're just a little bit ahead of PPC, and now they're going to be able to take over the map.
That QSS was fairly clutch for Chibi. Actually impressed that they were willing to purchase it. Most people don't pay their QSS tax.
Yeah, it was really cool to see that Chibaritsu was willing to pay the QSS tags. And you have Destiny, who has the cleanse, so this CC that can come out from the Pantheon in the backline is just too difficult to land. Pantheon does essentially nothing now. I would argue that the Renekton is starting to get to that point as well, that he is really not in a very good place. Lucian, with this Trinity Force build, is slowed down immensely, and Orianna just isn't anywhere near where Syndra is right now. So PBC is just a weaker team composition. I don't know if they win this game.
I'm actually pleasantly surprised that Alice is actually turning this around. Cobra is suffering from the fact that they had some early snowballs, and now they're the ones suffering because they didn't push their advantages when they had them. Something that a lot of teams need to learn, and it looked like Atlas was the one learning it, and now it's Cobra's turn to learn that they had a window, and Atlas is saying, your window's gone and past now. Don't know if you realized, but now we can win this.
The one avenue they might have back into the game is the fact that they have decent AoE damage. Destiny gonna get caught up by Single Gazer. That damage was insane. Flash comes out, Syncagazer gets a kill. That is the threat of the Renekton onto anybody that doesn't have 300 armor at this point in the game. Does show that he has strength. Desolate Earth catches Silvernote with a Q, not going to be able to do much. Syncagazer comes around, he's going to try and catch Silvernote, gets the stun onto Desolate Earth, going to smash him. Silvernote's going to go down here. Syncagazer gets another one. Just as we were praising Atlas, again, PBC making it happen on this backside of the fight.
Nice use of the calling, getting Chibi to cancel that ult early, not wanting to get shredded down. But...
yeah. So again, with these champions that don't have much armor / magic resist, the opposite threat is what you're really looking for. So this Syndra hasn't built any resistances whatsoever, so she's very susceptible to both, you know, AD and AP threats. This Malphite's full AP. This is a full AP Malphite support. Coupled that with an Orianna, oh, Fuzzes just goes right into 4 people. Tomato Farmer going to be able to shred her through her with that boar. Now Bobo Penguin has joined them. He's going to be able to get around, but they exhaust him down on Tomato Farmer. And that's going to be a kill. Oh, Desolate Earth completely whiffs the Unstoppable Force. Syncagazer is ulted in right here. He's going to... oh my goodness, that damage! Syncagazer, fantastic job getting 1 kill. Syncagazer trying to go in on more, but the ultimate from Destiny is going to be able to take him out. Now Astro is running for her life in this case, and it looks like she's going to get stunned up multiple times, and that's the ace for Atlas Esports.
And now Atlas is actually doing these team fights better, I think. Now that they've actually got the items that they need to sort of make this happen, they're actually executing their CC the way that they should be. And this isn't typically like a team fighting comp, but again, I would say that Cobras is suffering from the fact that they had early game Involution in the Pantheon, and that window is passing away. Jin and Syndra and Poppy are all just getting better and better as this game goes on.
Yeah, the way that Atlas is kind of winning these fights is by separating and staying away from one another, which is what we wanted to see last game. And in this one, they just have, look at this 10-kill Poppy. Like, that's a tank on the front line that you cannot do anything against. That's so difficult to deal with for any champion in general. So we'll have to see exactly how that plays out. I think the one, again, they have so massive of importance of cooldown. So, like, Desolate Earth missing that ultimate was huge in that fight. I don't think the Ori ult amounted to much. I don't remember seeing it hit more than 1 person. So, like, those cooldowns really need to go into very high priority targets. They need to hit people hard. Otherwise, they're going to lose these defenses.
Yeah, it's definitely all about the execution now for both of these teams at this point. Although, since Atlas did get the inhibitor, I want to see if they can, you know, play the proper macro, because the Baron should be free, basically, if they play this right. You want to make sure you get the super minion pressure first. Don't rush this Baron too fast without that.
Yeah, despite the fact that they have 3 tower advantage and 7 kills, they're only ahead by about 4,000 gold. That is not completely insurmountable from the side of them. They need to come get this Baron, though. This is a great spot for them to fight. Yeah, here it comes, Friction ulting in. Gonna see if he can actually get anything. The sun comes out, the knockup comes out, and now Tomato Farmer. Friction's still in the back of the pit. He's still alive. He can't make it back now. They're going to have to disengage off the Baron, though. And Desolate Earth with a massive ultimate. The Boring Ball wasn't there, though. Oh, my goodness. Syncagazer gets huge on the backside. Kills 2 already. Now Fuzz is trying to 3v1. He might actually get it. Tomato Farmer going to try and get it. Yeah, both top laners currently trying to play huge plays. Not able to get anything. And Fuzz is going to be able to clean up everything on the backside. And that should be the win for Atlas Esports. Wow. What a fight.
I actually did not expect that fight to go their way. Just as I say, don't rush the bear, and Alice does exactly that. And I thought Cobra was going to punish them, and no. Like, this Jhin hits like a truck, and same with the Destiny on the Syndra. Like, I think Cobra just didn't realize, oh yeah, Atlas actually does do damage now that we let them get a bunch of items.
Well, what was really good was that, like, I love Desolate Earth's engage. It was a phenomenal ultimate. And then Syncagazer got, I think, 1 or 2 kills immediately on the backline. But the Poppy was too big. The Poppy, I think, 1v3'd and got all 3 kills in that fight. Poppy was huge in that last one. And Jhin and I think it was, I don't remember, Amumu. Jhin and Amumu were able to end up killing that Renekton in the backline. All the damage was already done on the front line, so they just won that fight.
Oh yeah, no, I think Atlas, to our surprise and to their credit, successfully stalled out the game.
Yeah,
And a big
phenomenal.
part of like why that stall was even successful was thanks to Fuzz. And some of like that solo kill that he got on Synchro was essential, as well as I don't think we gave enough credit to Destiny on the Syndra. You saw at the end there,
Yeah.
Destiny was actually up like 100 CS over Astro on the Orion. Underrated, but Destiny actually did also a very good job at making a lead for himself and stalling out the game the way that Atlas needed to stall it out. And the Syndra damage, I think, started becoming a surprise to Cobras members that they weren't really giving respect to the fact that, oh yeah, Syndra hits like a truck.
Yeah. All right, well, we are all tied up here. PPC versus Atlas Week 10 matchup. Please, everybody, stick around. We're going to take a short break here, but when we come back, we're going to figure out who wins this series. Don't touch that browser. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Games XP Week 10 matchup between PPC and Atlas Esports. After taking Game 1, PPC comes out and loses Game 2 to Atlas, meaning the score is 1-1 right now. How did they do it? How did they win that last game?
Atlas actually played to their strengths. To everyone's surprise, Atlas did a really weird draft, but actually executed it better than anyone really gave them credit for, better than I gave them credit for. So props to them, honestly, this time around. Specifically, like Chibi, Destiny, and Fuzz all really stepping up to the plate this time around. Fuzz getting the solo kill on Synchros, on his Renekton of all things, getting on him on the Poppy pick, and Destiny really coming through on the Syndra, not only just with the damage, but creating that CS lead, getting some of those disengages, and getting those stuns off really well. And then Chibi on the Jhin, like, so much damage. There was a point in this game where Chibi was more than a full item ahead of Tomato on their Lucian pick, so gotta give props where props is due. Atlas was able to stall out. Like, the Cobras Cup needed to win early. You had things like the Pantheon and the Lucian that really want that early game presence and those early snowballs, and they kind of had them, but didn't push them. They didn't use those advantages hard enough, and Atlas was like, okay, well, we're just going to survive, and survive they did.
Yeah, I think from what we've seen in the first two games, I don't think... So Single Gazer is a great laner. He's doing great in the lane phase, and he's pretty impressive in team fights as well. But where I think PPC is currently winning or losing the game is the impact of Friction. Friction in the first game on the Kayn was able to get some stuff done in like the early game, kept their team around, and then come later game, he was the catalyst to try to get stuff done, along with, you know, the Orianna ult, etc. But he was the man towards the front trying to push the action. In this last game, he got kind of shut out by an Amumu pick with that early pathing, and so he just had no impact basically through the entire game.
Yeah, I
So-
think that is something unique to touch on. Silver only Amumu. Now, you didn't really get any ganks, didn't actually have the map pressure, but normally Friction should have been able to abuse the Amumu pick on something like a Pantheon, but really creative passing that may have actually been intentional, nothing to do with experience or anything, just actually might have read Friction like a book and was like, this guy's going to counter jungle and try and look for me. I'm going to pass this way such that likely when he ends up in my jungle, he's not going to find anything. He's not going to find camps, and he's not going to find me.
The weak fear the shadows.
Absolutely. Really good job by him in that one. A little bit of difference in the bans in this. So we see the Urgot banned from the side of Atlas. That's not a shocker. Poppy banned from the side. That's the one change-up. So that leaves the Alistar, I believe, that they've banned out the last 2 series. The Alistar is now still up for the side of Atlas. Renekton now taken out as well. So double top lane ban. We'll have to see what jungler and top laner, of course, that Cinco and Friction will go through respectively, and what Fuzz's response to that pick is.
I think Synchro's probably going to take the Poppy. I think is what he's going to do here. Kind of
Poppy was banned.
How Fuzz performed on it, and I think in response, I think Alice could. And no, that's actually going to be a Scion. I stand corrected. In which case, actually, I think I would like to see something like the Maokai here from Atlas. I don't know for sure whether Fuzz actually plays that, but if he does, I would prefer for a champion like that. Maybe Ornn?
Something that can definitely go into the Scion. A couple of things come to mind. Oh, so the Yasuo gets taken away. Maybe they felt uncomfortable with Tomato Farmer on that with the Scion, with the kind of engages. I really liked Desolate Earth on that pick, though. I kind of like to see him go back to that, but the Alistar is taken this time by Bobo Penguin. See how he can kind of do that in this one. So
it looks like both teams are just kind of taking turns at, like, we see that Wombo combo, and we're just going to take these champions just to deny parts of that Wombo combo, and kind of leading to some interesting comms, but because of how last game went, I'm actually going to reserve my judgment on the comms until we actually get to see a bit more. Since I was proven wrong, since I'll take the criticism that last game I criticized Atlas for the way they drafted, and they won, so you can't deny that.
Already with a little bit better looking draft from, I would say, both sides. This time Tomato Farmer getting some comfort on the Kai'Sa. Hopefully he can carry on that kind of a champion. And 2 engaged champions on the powerhouse side of things, the Scion and the Amumu. On the other side, they went immediately for Yasuo and Alistar, which make a very potent combo. Very guaranteed knockups from the Alistar. And this time, the Orianna is taken away from Astro. It's the first time she won't be playing it in this series. Let's see if she has an answer to that pick. Already the Wombo combo being designed here from Atlas. We'll have to see what the response is from both teams. I do believe that the E-sub means that Atlas doesn't get these bans anymore. So what advantages can be gained from the bans on that side? So who are you banning out if you are PBC in this one?
I think you take away Malphite, because I think that is still an option, because you could, do, well, maybe not something crazy like a Malphite jungle, but you could have like a bruiser bot lane, like you could put the Yasuo in the bot lane, in which case you throw a Malphite top lane to add to that Wombo combo. Zac also would fit that bill, so.
Zac, a very good engaged champion, pretty good in the Amumu as well. Gives them a lot more ganking potential in the early game, too. I think that's what they want to try to stall out in this one, is ganking potential. I think with a Scion and an Amumu, if you can take away early ganking junglers, it doesn't really matter who they are. You can take those away, you can prevent the lanes from snowballing, and then it just becomes a pure 1v1 kind of teamfight scenario, which maybe PPC feels like they can win those basically always.
And I'm curious how Cobra wants to round out this comp, though, considering, they kind of seem to be building the classic sort of protect the AD carry comp. You've got this powerhouse Kai'Sa. The question is, how do they want to approach this? Do they want to ensure that they have another source of damage? Because otherwise you risk, if Kai'Sa dies, your team just kind of sits there and falls apart. Or what kind of other protections do you want to give her? Do you maybe throw something like a Galio in the mid lane?
Nunu gets taken out as well. Again, one of these kind of ganking junglers, something Silverno might be popular with. We'll have to see what's left on the board. So we're looking for maybe ADC, top, and jungle are the three that you're kind of looking for to see where the Yasuo might end up as well. We're going to see the Nocturne. That's a great pickup. It's good early ganking once he hits 6, plus pretty decent synergy with the Orianna ball means that Atlas has a very formidable team comp right here.
Actually, I would... So is that a Cobra? I actually think Aurelia would be a good pick here.
Okay.
But... Vigar is okay. Not what I would have first picked for this, but I can see why it would fit, so...
Interesting. Ooh, okay. Is it? Oh my god. Okay, so my thought is that that's a Jax top and a Vigar and a Scion support. So I like the Desolate Earth on the Scion. Assumably Vigar mid lane, which is it should keep her safe and it scales very well into the later game with that infinite AP scaling. On the other side, probably gonna see Varus lock in. Sivir lock in. Okay. All right, so some movement speed to get their team into position here. And on the other side, we see some kind of counter-engaged lockdown and a lot of split push pressure. This is a Jax versus Yasuo top lane. That's going to be a spicy match.
Finally, we get to see carry versus carry. Well, no, actually, we kind of have been seeing carry versus carry, but I guess more straight-up carry, because, I mean, Poppy is kind of bruisery.
Yeah,
in any case, I actually would have preferred the Varus pick, but I can agree that like I can understand the Sivir. I feel like the Varus was the better option, but Sivir's fine. I can understand it. I like that Atlas though. At least this time around, their draft it's very clear what their winning conditions are. You want to get this Kaisa especially, and the Vigar for sure. And so, what do? Speed up on the Sivir. Nocturne ult, and hopefully if you change the CC right, Nocturne should be able to just dive on one of these two carries and make sure that they are bursted as fast as possible.
Okay. PBC definitely going for a little bit more of a scaling composition. Okay, I say a little bit, and that is a drastic understatement. They went for a drastically more scaling comp than they did last game. Last game was pure early game aggression. This game, a lot more on the scaling side. Vigar, Kai'Sa, Jax, all really good late game champions. I don't know, is this comfort for the side of PPC more than is, team composition, or is this kind of what they're looking for in terms of 5v5?
I actually don't think this is much of comfort picks as much as this is like, I think they drafted this intentionally, but I don't think it's comfort picks. I also think there is some foreseeable problems with Cobra's comp, because what happens with you when you play Vigar mid lane? Vigar's laning phase is atrociously bad. Orianna is a control mage that's going to control the lane. So what do you have? Atlas actually did something really well here, because you've got the ganking Nocturne, and you've got a pushing mid laner. So what can Atlas do here? You can take complete control of that mid lane before the Vigar really comes online. Nocturne, Orianna, sneaky sneak, go down to the bot lane while Vigar's not really able to punish them, and you can totally have, the 4-man gangbang take first tower, start snowballing this game out of control happen.
Absolutely. I'm really excited. I'd like to see these lanes and how they kind of play out, and I'm also very excited about the junglers. The junglers themselves have been very impactful in how this kind of game plays out, but for right now, we're going to be taking a break. Atlas looking to play spoiler to everybody's expectations. 100% of you said PPC was going to win. Let's see which team comes out with the victory. We are going to be taking a very short pause, but definitely do not touch that browser because we have a great game ahead of you.
My name is Tim Borseth, and I own and operate GXPC in Decorah, Iowa. GXPC is a geek paradise. We carry everything from Pong and Atari all the way to Xbox One and PS4, and all the games that would go with those consoles as well. We also carry a ton of movies. We have handheld games. We have Magic the Gathering, Yu-Gi-Oh!, Pokemon. We have D&D and Pathfinder. We carry Warhammer 40K. We have a vintage Star Wars selection. This place is great. My wife and I have had 6 kids, and they are so much fun to work with here at the store. They run the store as much as I do.
And we now repair cell phones, game consoles, computers, and small electronics.
Our store is instant fun. Not only is there cool music and cool stuff to look at, but we have a game room that is so much fun. It's free to play, and you just plug in your game system and enjoy life. The Game XP motto is bringing joy to people's lives through our products, people, and a place to play. So you have got to come to Decorah, Iowa and check out Games XP and experience this geek gaming paradise.
Hello and welcome back to Games XP Week 10 matchup between PPC and, my bad, apologies, Atlas Esports. Again, another 5-point here in this beginning of the game. We're all very excited to see the outcome of this series after how competitive it's been so far.
Yeah, indeed, and I think, after the upset that Atlas gave Cobra last game, that this time you really got to step up your A game, because even though Atlas might already be knocked out, I think it's just a matter of pride at this point. Does Cobra want to be known as one of the top tier teams, but taken down by one of the worst tier teams in the end? Then that starts to raise questions about, maybe Cobra isn't that good. Maybe Atlas could have actually done better had they had more time to grow as a team.
Absolutely.
I think if Cobra wants to solidify where they've gotten up to this point in the season, they should bring their A game and try and play this game clean and play it well and close it out solidly. Don't waste time on shenanigans and trying to pad your stats there.
Okay. See some action here in the bot lane. Yeah, great job. Tomato Farmer's probably near down. He down to Sivir. He goes very unfortunate, giving that scaling champion over. Summoner spells burnt all over the place, but you still want that kill to start the game. Damnable shame. And Tomato Farmer DC. Oh, that's really unfortunate. Oh, did he DC before that fight started?
I'm not sure what happened there.
Yeah, I'm not sure exactly. I know there was a lot of aggression there for just a very short time, and Tomato disconnected some point during that fight. I don't know when it was, but if he disconnected before the fight started, it would have been really unfortunate that that happened, because now they have first blood. Friction able to get the tank out onto the Astro, double stun. Oh, just not enough. Not enough damage quite yet. It's a shame, but Friction able to get that first gank off really very easily. Aggression already. Both these squads looking to come into this game ready to play. Very excited to see how the rest of this game comes in. Cinco Gazer. Oh, trying something, but Fuzzes is able to sneak out with an E through his body. And Friction's already on the gank path again. He is relentless on the Amumu pick.
Everything changed of pace compared to when we saw Silver on it last game. The aggression that Friction brings to pretty much everything this guy plays.
Yeah. A massive wave stack to your bot lane made this very difficult to fight into. Now Star tries to get a little bit aggressive. Desolate Earth is fine, though. Cinco Gazer and Fuzzes trading blows back and forth a little bit. Cinco going to try. Oh, no. Silver Nose up here for another gank. Let's see exactly what happens here. Great stun. Oh, and great dodge of the Tornado. Fantastic job. Bot lane aggression here. Chibaritsu. Oh, the Ignite's on. We're going to see Desolate Earth is able to hit him with the Glacial Augment. Yeah, the flash for Tomato Farmer, a kill over to Desolate Earth, but still a kill. Bobble Penguin's in a very bad place. He's going to get knocked up, and that's going over to Tomato Farmer. Double kill for the bot lane of PPC.
Ugh, and that is not what you want to see. Atlas kind of needed to play it a bit safer there. A little too aggressive to try and shut this Kai'Sa down. Not respecting the CC that a Scion brings.
Yeah, it's a really great job. Like I said, I thought Desolate was amazing on the Scion in Game 1. He was one of the reasons that they were able to come back into the game so cleanly. Definitely knows what he's doing on this champion at the support role. So I love seeing it. It's definitely, I would assume that he's his go-to pick, or at least his go-to pocket pick. So.
Yeah, mid laner is just kind of going to farm it out for now, which ideally is actually not what you want as Atlas. You can actually do something about how Veigar, sort of power spikes throughout the game by how much, free farm you give him for those Q stacks. So I really want to see Atlas be proactive here about realizing that Kai'Sa, Veigar, not early game champions. You have some potential early game power in the Yasuo, in the Nocturne, in the Orianna, in the Sivir. Make something happen. And okay, I likely tried in bot lane, but maybe not try that hard.
Yeah. The issue I run into is that this mid lane is a very tough sell. The reason why is because early game Orianna does some pretty good things, but without cooldown reduction, she can't really trade consistently with auto. As I said, we have some action here in the bot lane. The Q gets absorbed by the Sivir, but no extra interaction.
Yeah, no, maybe not make something happen right this second, but I am definitely looking towards those level 6 power spikes. That's where I want to see a big play happen from Atlas. Is around when the Nocturne gets that ultimate. You get the ultimates on Yasuo and Orianna. You get the Sivir's ultimate. Make that bot lane gank happen.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a fantastic job so far. Nocturne and Amumu very similar. I think they're no. Silverno has a 1 level of experience, 1 camp. Currently on Friction. Friction has had those couple of games. In another set of fighting here on the bot lane, the Scion just getting super aggressive on a Chibaritsu. Babu Penguin's gonna take more. He can take one more auto and get the passive off. Not able to see him in the bush though. Yeah, interaction still knocked up is Babu Penguin. Tomato Farmer able to get that W off, and here comes Amumu. No flash, I don't think. Trying to wait out that spell shield. That's what they were waiting on. Not going to be able to do anything. Friction to die here. Silvernail has oh! Chibaritsu is able to kill Tomato Farmer, and that flash from Silvernail was worthless, but they're going to be routed here. Looks like Desolate Earth is going to die, and Friction's going to die as well. Everyone dies in this bot lane, and now 3 kills over to the side of Sivir. My goodness.
I was actually really good on Silver's part to be there for that countering. There's something I was just thinking of too, is that Nocturne is a ganking jungler, but he's also one of the best counter gankers that you can have, especially when he gets that ultimate. Is the fact that Nocturne can just, because that ultimate allows him to travel so much distance, he doesn't have to be there to start the ganks, but is great for counter ganking, making himself appear in a lane when the enemy jungler shows.
Yeah, great job. Both teams are doing a fantastic job so far. A lot of aggression from the earlier game. Composition Friction not able to take away unfortunately has a weaker smite. Friction is only level 3 to the level 5. Destiny is up here to help Syncagazer, or Fuzzes against Syncagazer. They weren't able to get anything either. Silvernill's out of mana. Yeah, the Vigar's able to land something. Tomato Farmer is able to get the kill. Great job in that sense. Cinco didn't even die top lane either, so a pressure around the map being lost by these attempted plays. I like that they're trying things, but they're kind of failing at some of them.
Yeah, unfortunately, Silver had to give his life there, but considering they did secure the Mountain Drakes, it's not the worst trade in the world.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially for a team composition with a Sivir, with a Nocturne, with a Yasuo, they can take objectives very fast. Yeah. And even better is that Kai'Sa got another kill, so she can kind of stay on par with this Sivir. Two very, very, very high scaling champions. So you definitely want both of them to get as many kills as they can in this early lane.
And if anything, they still have options to shut Synchro now. Silver should be that 6 soon on the Nocturne, and then knowing that Synchro is down a flash, since he had to use it from the gank that he got from Destiny.
Yeah, right there, Astro Flash very, very early gave tons of respect over to the Babo Penguin's Alistar, but he didn't even actually get in range for his W. He got in range that time. Tomato Farmer taking a W. Q and the Ignite is on. He's gonna probably die to the Sivir. Sivir does kill him in the end. Desolate Earth just has to walk away as he watches his ADC die once again.
That is exactly what we want to see. 4 kills on Chibi on the Sivir. Tomato is dying a lot on this guy's like that is exactly what you want as Atlas. Abuse the fact that Cobra drafted these late game carries. This is your window of opportunity, and I'm glad to see that Atlas is finding the kills and finding the plays during that window instead of just playing a super passive game.
Yeah. Both teams trying to make things happen. Again, a small lead right now over to the side of Atlas Esports. A lot of that is on their AD carry, about 1,100 gold of their 1,300 gold lead. Here we see Friction onto Babo Penguin. 2 knockups now. Friction has the ultimate. He's going to get the ultimate out, and that kill goes over to Desolate Earth, unfortunately, instead of the Kai'Sa, but still getting kills is helpful in this early game, shrinking that lead a little bit more.
You know, unfortunate, but kind of. We're gonna.
Yeah, Syncagazer getting a massive 1v1 in this top lane. The ward goes down. Synco just going to be able to auto him to death. Fantastic job by him getting that 1v1 against the Yasuo. Only has attack speed. Yasuo only built attack speed and expected to win that fight. So.
Yeah, unfortunately, Yasuo does take longer to come online. Jax having a Tiamat over Yasuo rushing Boots of Speed. Kind of a cringe, to be honest. Like, if you're a Yasuo who's running speed boots while the Jax is building a Tiamat, you just shouldn't 1v1 the Jax. You just shouldn't.
It becomes very difficult if you are the Yasuo in that case. Oh, great little box here. Ultimate actually pushes him out, but Babo Penguin's able to get a good fight for the Orianna, gets a kill onto the Vigar. Great job by those two, interacting in a very, very good way after burning that flash just a little bit ago.
Yeah, if I recall how that happened right, so Alistar, basically uses that headbutt distance to get in before the cage actually finished animated, right? That's
correct, yeah. They didn't even have flash for that, but the engagement onto Chiburitsu from the Scion, such big engage, and this time guys is going to be able to get the kill. Fantastic job by the bot lane to get that target and get that kill.
Chiburitsu not respecting the ultimate power. You hear the Scion, you're by yourself in a lane and you're a squishy, you should probably leave and get yourself out of vision.
Yeah, very rough to try to do that, especially Sivir. I don't think the spell shield was up. I don't think she had the mana for anything. Babo Penguin just walking in here, gets stunned that time. Not going to be able to do anything, but Astro drops the ultimate. Amumu is still here. I don't think he has ultimate quite yet, but it's almost up. Oh, he's going to die right before it comes up. They towered out very, very low in health bars. The Jax is walking down. They're probably going to be able to catch him at Desolate Earth. He's able to get Fuzzes. Great job by him. And Destiny is still stuck here in the flash over, but Jax is still there. Oh, we're going to have to see if they're actually able to catch Destiny. Tomato Farmer trying to get away from Chiburitsu. We're going to have to see how that fight turns out. Yeah, nothing here on the top side. Chiburitsu going to pull back. Tomato Farmer not taking much more damage. great job by the aggression from Atlas was great, but the tower dive was executed very poorly, and they ended up paying for it.
Yeah, no, that is an unfortunate truth of the matter. That Cobras now taking the lead in kills because Atlas did mess up a fair bit of the execution there. I liked the idea. That was not a necessary play for Alistair to make.
Yeah, that also led that set of aggression and the counter aggression from the side of PPC did lead to first tower going down for Chibaritsu. There's also solo gold. This Sivir is massive right now. They have to be very, very respectful of what she's going to be. The Storm Razor's online. As soon as she gets her third item, once she gets that the first Zeal item, she's going to be a very big threat in these fights. So they got to start doing something across the map. One of the first things to look for is maybe that Jax getting top tower. That's probably the next point of contention that they can look to fight for.
Yeah, and if you're on the side of Cobra right now and, wanting to recuperate from, the fact that your tomato here on the Kaisa has been dying a fair bit, I don't like the itemization path. This is what we've seen on... I saw in Game 1. Yeah, it was Game 1 where Tomato did this. Rushing the Ginsus, I don't like it. That's objectively, in my opinion, not the way to go. They should be rushing that Storm Razors first, because that gives you a legitimate one-item power spike.
Babo Penguin jumps into the pit here. Oh, the ultimate only gets one person, but here comes the Nocturne. We're going to have to see whether the fight in the back of the pit. Yeah, Astro drops the first one. Babo Penguin going to come back in. Going to get one kill. Friction very low. Destiny's going to be able to clean up this fight. Desolate Earth's not going to be able to get anything. It's 4 for 2 with the Dragon still going over to the side of PPC, but that's just a consolation prize. But Jax gets a solo kill onto the Yasuo in the top lane, and that top tower is all but dead.
And Synchro just gonna collect himself some consolation prize, and like, Fuzz, you might have killed me on the Poppy, but this matchup, no way, son. You can't 1v1 this. Yeah,
the Jax is starting to get a little bit scary. Once he gets the Ninja tab out, once he gets his Trinity Force up, I am going to be very skeptical whether this Yasuo can ever actually kill him. I don't know if it's ever going to be able to happen again, even with a very, very heavily fed Sivir.
Ideally what Alice wants to do is you want to get Fuzz out of the lane phase. You want this Yasuo in the team fights. You don't want him in a side lane 1v1ing Cinco on the Jax right now, because he's just not going to win that. Like, Yasuo needs to get that Infinity Edge, and until he does, Jax is going to continue to kind of steamroll.
Yeah, or at least the Phantom Dancer, just something. Friction going to be able to catch out Destiny here. Going to probably wait to hit the Q. Great attempt on the Q, but Destiny has that cleanse, able to get him out. Only half health in that proper thing. See what the Nocturne is right now, taking that blue buff away. Going to be able to counter juggle that just a little bit. But yeah, as you were saying, you don't want that Yasuo anywhere near the Jax before. At minimum, Phantom Dancer is up. Phantom Dancer meaning 12% reduced damage in the 1v1. Babo Penguin going to try and come in, and that's Nocturne. They're going right onto it. No, wait. Oh, the Fear was able to get off despite the flash. The Tomato Farmer goes down. Great attempt by him to get out of that, though. The ultimate... could have maybe done something. Silvernil tanks the Q from the Scion, but not the box. Gonna see if the damage still come out. Friction kills one. Silvernil goes down. The Ori ultimate is going to be enough to dissuade them from going any further. So just a 1-for-1 in this case.
Yeah, a bit of an awkward team fight there. I'd like the fact they went in straight onto Tomato to keep punishing this Kaisa, but a little awkward on the pathing. Sometimes I don't know why some players, kind of forget this little thing, but pathing can actually mean a lot between whether you die for something you did or not. Pathing through certain choke points, or sometimes how many times people will die, even in 5v5 environments like this, because they took the riskier path to get back to lane or something like that, and you gotta assume that those things are possibly warded, or the enemy can collapse on those better.
We're going to have to wait and see what happens here in this map.
In that case, Vigar not actually falling that far behind in CS. So, yeah. Good news for Cobra, not the best news for Atlas, knowing that Astro...
I think I would have preferred to see the Vigar go more towards the defensive itemization rather than this. So you see the Ludens and the Sword Shoes. I would have liked to see maybe the Abyssal Mask. The Rift Arrow being started on the side of PPC, but Jax has that push in the bot lane. He could actually potentially kill this Yasuo. They have interaction here in the mid lane. Flash is down for Destiny. He doesn't have cleanse either. He's going to die. Probably, yep, and there is the Vigar ultimate to confirm that. They did pick up the Rift Herald.
Yeah, that was
Yes.
just getting punished for definitely being way too far forward. You're by yourself. Your team is taking Rift Arrows. All you have to do is play just forward enough to keep them in the lane. Didn't need to be that far forward to be able to get caught by the CC.
Yeah, absolutely. Jax pushing up really heavily in that lane, knows that he is definitely the stronger of the two champions at this moment, but gonna pay some respects to the Phantom Dancer Yasuo. Still can put up a fight, still, if misplayed, could kill him just the same way that he kills him in most situations. We have to see where they're gonna drop this Rift Herald at. I think it's on Silver Mill right now. So where is the point of contention? So both outer towers are taken down right now. So do they drop it mid, or do they attempt to make a play in a side lane? Wait,
I think you
did it
definitely
drop?
still drop it mid because you want that map open, but it depends. If they think they can still take this mid lane tower without the Rift Herald, I say go for it. But if you're not able to really get a pick or force the right fight, you just throw the Herald at it.
Yeah. Right now, looking at the CS scores, nothing massive except for Sivir has a 40 CS lead over the Kai'Sa right now. In terms of gold value, that's about 2,700 gold. That makes up the majority of. That makes up a lot more than the majority of the lead that has being held by Atlas right now.
Yeah, which is why Atlas should be forcing these fights. Like, don't play
There we
passive.
go. We're going to see an engagement here. Oh, that shut down so fast. That box completely shut down. Great
So
job.
bad right now if you're Silver getting caged on your ultimate.
Yeah, we are in a very weird spot right now. Both teams looking to engage, but it now looks like Atlas is on the back foot. Great Orianna ult in the cage, but they aren't able to re-engage because the cage is there. Now Babo Penguin is in a risky place. Jax jumps in, gets that kill, flashes immediately back out. 1-0 right now. Chibiritsu pops that ultimate. No ultimate to speak of. The Amumu ultimate will be up here very shortly. Sinka Gazer on the backside. He's probably going to be setting up a dive here. Silver Nil, he's going to be able to kill him. Good job by Sinka Gazer. He's going to be able to get out. He dodges the tornado. Nothing else. His team's coming in now. Friction is here, and the ultimate comes out, and the box is down, and there's nothing left to go. The Glacial Augment proc on Desolate Earth means they're going to slow him down. Sinka Gazer probably not going to be able to hit that stun, and Chibiritsu's able to walk out. That's a 3-0, and the tower is currently still being sieged on.
And Cobras successfully just string Atlas around on a leash. Saying, here's the Jax. Chase the Jax. Like, Atlas, what are you doing? Just letting Synchro just come in and start picking you off like that. You can't play scattered plates this way.
Oh, man. Oh, Babo Penguin with a great stun there, but no follow-up damage because Sivir got too low. The 5-kill Jax is huge right now. Still 1,000 gold, still like 1,500 gold behind the Sivir. This Sivir is what they have to play around, but they just don't have anything else. They really don't have any damage on any other champion right now, so they'd be very careful with how they use Chibiritsu in these fights.
I mean, the rest of their team does like some damage, but they've got to execute. They're not like they're using some ults, but not others. And this, you want the ult synchronicity, or you want to go in when Alistar gets the engage. Like Alistar should be initiating the fights first, followed up with the Nocturne ultimate to pick off either the Kai'Sa or the Veigar, followed up with, try and get a good Orianna Shockwave in there, all the while Sivir ulting so that Nocturne and everyone should be moving all that faster to make sure they can chase down the targets. Like, the synchronicity hasn't been there these last couple of fights. Atlas has been using some ults and then using others later, like, just save everything, get everything back on the right timer, and so that for the next fight, get everything off. Don't use some of it, use all of it.
Did I see that the Rift Herald was dropped? Did it get dropped? Yeah, it just got dropped, I think. Yeah, here it comes up mid lane. We're going to see what it can do here. Friction is in a bad place. Babo Penguin. Oh, he misses his Q! Oh, Babo Penguin, really sad that he missed the Q on that one, but not able to do much. The mid tower is going to go down with just a little bit of pressure. Yeah, that's not a terrible loss on the side of PPC. They still have a gold advantage. Babo Penguin gonna get engaged on here. Tomato Farmer to hit that W. Fuzzes gets in with the ultimate, not gonna do much, and here comes the Nocturne into the back line. So much damage, but it's just being turned back around. No more ultimates. Orianna ult is able to pull in Desolate Earth, who flashes out. Tomato Farmer on the backside of the fight, ults in, and he dies to Fuzzes. Not able to do anything, but that Jax, look where he is right now. He's taking the top lane. That was a 2-for-1. 3-for-2, 2-for-2. That was a 2-for-2, and Jax is taking an inhib tower right now.
Yeah, no, that should have been a win for Atlas, but that execution, That really hurts. That really hurts. 'Cause like I said, it was about that alt synchronicity. Synchro, though, just didn't get to have his way.
Oh my god, he's a raid boss right now. Absolutely dead. He's 2v1ing right now, and they have to run. Oh, here's Bobo Penguin. Oh, he's gonna kill Destiny. Oh my goodness, he walks out of a 3v1 with a kill. My goodness, Cinco Gazer is huge right now.
But yeah, back to that last fight, executional errors. I wanted to see the ults all used. Now Alice did use them all, but not on the right times. Like, Alice cannot hesitate in these team fights. If you're gonna pull the trigger on, you know, like an Alistair engage into a Yasuo ult from the knock-up into the Nocturne ult and everything else, you cannot hesitate. You need to throw everything down instantly. Pull that trigger as fast as you can. Don't wait for just the right angle, just the perfect moment. If the one team starts it and goes in, the whole team moves in. You don't wait. Having those ults out of synchronicity gave Cobra reaction time to set up that Vygar cage that resulted in the kills that they got.
Absolutely. Looking at what happened right now, the two people that are kind of struggling on the side of Atlas are their top laner and their jungler. Those are the two that you're really looking for as being very, very quite bad, or at least very, very weak at the moment.
Yeah, but I mean, if you're on the side of Cobra right now, I mean, you are actually really happy, though, that with those executional errors, picking up a couple of kills.
Spend that ultimate. Now they have to be very worried. The Jax is bot lane right now, but they have a Kai'Sa on the other side of the map. They could go for this Baron. My goodness, this is going to be a rough one.
Yeah, we're past the 20-minute mark, so I mean, Cobra is pretty heavy right now because Synchro is so huge on this Jax. Like, just get Synchro in a side lane. Watch him absorb so much pressure while the rest of your team can just kind of play around the map.
Yeah, look at this right here. He has 3 people, Chibaritsu included. And they might not kill. They're probably going to kill. Yeah, the ult is popped. Multiple ults have been popped already. Cinco Gazer are going to jump back in. He's going to get a kill. No way. This guy's insane.
Meanwhile, you know, Cobra's knocking on the door, knocking on the towers, being like, sure, you want to send 4 people to Synchro, we're just going to take your towers.
Yeah, great job. I think they could have definitely gone for Baron while that was happening. They knew it was happening, so I think if they turned for it, maybe they wouldn't have had the time to because Kai's not quite online yet. But good job by them. The decisiveness and the macro from their team. And then also Cinco getting that kill in a 1v2. Silverno going to come in. The ultimate from Amumu is going to keep him off, and Silverno's probably going to get this kill. Oh, never mind.
The Baron finishes him off. I mean, that is a good important pick for Atlas to get taking the jungle out. Does give the opportunity for the Baron steal, but I don't think he's going to find it.
Yeah, this is going to be a rough one. They did turn right onto the Baron. The box goes down, has 2 stun currently. That's a risky proposition right now to see maybe this happens. I don't know. The ensuing fight afterwards could go positively for them, but it depends how this Vygar goes. It cleanse out from Chibaritsu, and Desolate Earth is not able to get anything right now. He has no ultimate, so he's not going to be able to do much. And he's going to go down here as well, but here comes Cinco. You're going to have to see how he does. He's going to go for Chibaritsu. They can get rid of his Baron, so that's 1. Bobo Penguin also going to go down as well. So that was, what, 3 kills?
Oh, he's just killing everyone.
Yeah, the man can just jump and kill anyone he wants. He's so huge right now. There's nothing you can do against it. Like in a side lane, in a 2v1, 3v1, the guy can just carry through anything. Even with Chibaritsu around, it's just not enough.
Oh man, a Chibaritsu, like an AD carry is way too squishy. Late game Jax is going to kill any squishy he finds in a 1v1. Like, late game Jax is no joke. Yeah, kind of cringing for Alice that they let Synchro get out of hand. That's going to be a problem. They may have gotten the Baron, but that doesn't change the fact that Synchro can still sort of play the split push game and, you know, force them to not be able to use their Baron as effectively as they would like.
Absolutely. Let's see the itemization. We do see that Tomato Farmer went for this AAP build. He went Rageblade into Nashlers, which kind of makes sense why he didn't go for the Storm Razor. Infernal Drake is going to be contested here. Cinco Gazer already onto Silverno. He stuns that out and goes under the backline. Silverno is going to get some damage out. That's just not enough. Silverno or Cinco Gazer on that backline going right for this Sivir. Multiple kills already down, and Chibaritsu is going to die. That might just be the game. Yeah,
Friction gets the Baron, throws the game.
Yeah, Yeah, tried for the dragon. Definitely had some damage, but I just don't know. It might not be quite game. It's only about 20-second death timers, but definitely at least an inhib and potentially Nexus Tower. Have to see.
I still definitely chalk up to execution errors because you saw like Nocturne goes in. Where's the shockwave? Where's the like 3-man Yasuo ult? Atlas wasn't team fighting around their ultimates the way that they should.
Yeah, I don't know. It just maybe they're just disjoint or rattled by the fact that they're just focusing too hard on trying to win these team fights or trying to pressure out Syncagazer, but I don't really know. It's tough to see because they've been competitive through this entire series and they have a team fight comp. They have a very fed ADC. It's just it's tough to diagnose what they're doing wrong specifically, other than just letting Syncagazer in with that for free. So.
Yeah, no, like Atlas has definitely all the tools they need to win a team fight, but they can't seem to get the execution down for some reason. They just, I'm guessing this is unfortunately not a specific comp that they've really practiced, unfortunately.
It's entirely possible also. A lot of the time what's happening is either their engage is getting stymied and then they're getting re-engaged on, or they're just getting engaged on. And I think what they need to do is they need to force an engagement. They need to be the ones that say, I want to fight you. They need to have Babu Penguin with the Ori ball on, or Sylvaner with the ball on, and they need to go after like 1 or 2 targets and just say, we want you dead now. So that they can focus on the rest. They can focus on Cinco, things like that. So
use the summoner spells like aggressively, like get the Orianna ball onto the Alistar. Alistar flash knockups. Like, don't just look for the perfect knockup. Flash forward if you have to, if it means you get the one that your team needs. Yeah. There are actually, unfortunately, too many supports that I think will hesitate. You know, they will look for the great knockups and the great plays, but they won't always flash for it.
Yeah, another issue, though, also is that Jax can jump onto Chibaritsu, and if Chibaritsu dies, I think their hopes of winning a team fight die. Oh, great grab onto Silverno by Friction. The box is going to go down, and Babu Penguin. This is the moment that we were waiting for. Maybe it's
there we go.
Oh my goodness, the ultimate just shuts out the Yasuo. Silverno can't get damage out onto the Kai'Sa. He's going to die too. Chibaritsu gets tons of damage by Syncagazer, who's 3v1ing on the backline. Yeah, Babu Penguin's probably just going to die here. Tomato Farmer ults into the backline. Not much you can do here. They don't have a wave yet, so right now Tomato and Cinco are stuck in the base, but they can still push away because they aren't strong enough yet.
And that is unfortunate. It was closer, but a couple of stopwatches and the fact that Cinco has a GA. Like this is becoming an even bigger headache for Atlas.
Yeah, this is a really rough game, unfortunately, because they just had a really great engage. Again, they let Syncagazer onto the backline to kill Chibaritsu, and their front fight, the fight at the front also did not win. So they're losing backline fights against Syncagazer, and they're losing frontline fights with a numbers advantage, and that cannot happen ever if you want to win this game.
Yeah, no, Atlas definitely needs to get some control on the execution of the fights. It's get some good vision control, and then I want to see them, like, you definitely want to try and either catch Cinco in a side lane by himself, hopefully, and just get him out of the picture entirely before the big fights even happen, ideally. But otherwise, try and get Astro on the Vigar and Tomato on the Kai'Sa, like, try and catch them in a choke point, and...
All right, so how do you, like, we've kind of discussed exactly what needs to happen. The question is, how do you do it? So, like, where do you think the setup can happen so that you can get these fights? You can get this kind of engagement onto the front line without having to worry about Syncagazer flanking. Where is that setup?
Needs to get, like, they need to be 5-man. Like, they cannot be hesitant in that fact. Like, you can't have Silver on the Nocturne going in and then, you know, the shockwave into the Yasuo ult. Like, it's all got to come together nearly at the same time if you can get vision on the enemy team. Like, they cannot afford the even 1 second for reaction there, because as we're seeing, as soon as they do go on to Astro or Tomato, Cinco takes that as his cue to jump on the Chibi. and Friction takes that as his cue to go ult, Chibi or whatever, if he can. Like, the reaction time is what's being a major factor here. Is Cobra's being allowed like just those small windows, and Cinco is a good enough player. He can capitalize on that. If you do not pull the trigger without hesitation, he will punish you and jump on your carries for not CCing him immediately.
And here comes the Baron. This should be completely uncontested. I think an issue that they're running into also is that if the Alistar is not really getting positive engages off, he needs to be disengaging for Chibaritsu. He needs to be there keeping the Jax away from him. And if he's on the front line, he can soak damage, but that's about it. So like his choices are soak damage because he's the only tank and try to find a decent engage, or peel for Chibaritsu and try to stall so that they can get suspended damage through the fights. And I don't think they've made that decision yet, or they haven't made that realization yet, and they need to, because without that, I don't think they have a chance of winning this game anymore.
I also think Fuzz on the Yasuo has been some as we...
The 4-man engage onto Cinco Gage. The thing is he has a Guardian Angel. We'll have to see if his team actually wants to come in and help here. Yeah, the question is, do they disengage this? Multiple skill shots missed just as they come in, but they've Friction on the backside of the fight, able to get a decent pull. Yeah, not much that can be done. Babo Penguin's going to go down, and that's another kill. Looks like a 3 for 2 so far. Yep, and Destiny's going to ult out. The thing's going to come down, and that should be the game. Tomato Farmer can walk in and take what he wants, where he wants, when he wants, with that wave of minions. This should just be a PPC win. Congratulations to them. They've done a great job for the entire series.
Yeah, no, indeed. I think Cobra did play this well. They got to the late game they wanted. Astro on this Vanguard doing massive amounts of damage now that she's had time to scale. I still disagree with the build path that Tomato took, but
you don't
like
the AP build path for Kaza?
I still think it should have been Storm Razor's first item. Then, Ginsu's and whatever else, if you still want to go the AP route, but I just think it's too... It would have helped Cobra, I think, just play the game that much smoother had they gone that build route, but I digress.
Okay, so with this win for PPC and with the loss for Atlas, we have to pick an MVP now. So from your color caster analysis, who do you think is the MVP of the series for PPC? Hello? Who do you think is the MVP of the series for PPC in this one?
Do we get to cast our own personal votes?
Yeah, that's what I'm asking. I'm asking for your personal vote.
That's hard.
Yeah.
Because I definitely feel like different people performed in different games, but...
To me, the two that stand out most are Syncagazer and Desolate Earth. I think those two were a lot. Like, Friction had very good impact in both games. Tomato Farmer was decent through most. I thought he was their weaker player. Astro had some really important plays in both games. But to me, Cinco in game 1 and 2 game 1 and 3 were very important. And I thought Desolate Earth had phenomenal performances in all 3 games.
Yeah, I lean towards Cinco, like, not to take away from the rest of his team, but it's just when you think of Cobra at this point, that you think Cinco, like, this is just the guy that is always going to create pressure. There's never going to be a team that they go against thus far that I can foresee that has been able to handle this guy in the top lane. Like, even though in game 2 Atlas was able to pull out that win and there was the solo kill that came onto him, that still came later. Like, Cinco does never seem to lose out in the early game and always provides something for his team. Like, he's that rock that no matter what happens, the team knows Cinco is going to do something. Maybe we don't always use it effectively, but it's going to give us something.
Okay, then let's bring Cinco in. We're going to have him as the MVP. Hey, Cinco, how's it going?
Hello. Hey, how's it going, guys?
Pretty good. How are you? Congratulations on the win of the series. We also picked you as the MVP, so congratulations. How are you feeling right now?
I'm feeling a little irritated that it went to game 3 because I have company over my house right now that I'm trying to entertain while simultaneously playing the series.
I was gonna say, how does that game 2 feel? The fact that you did manage to get solo killed. Now, we could call that just a miracle, a flash in the pan, but it did happen.
It's heartbreaking, truly. You know, my friendship has been ended with Renekton. Jax is now my new best friend.
So now that you've been solo killed on Renekton, it has to go to Jax now. Until what happens if you get solo killed on Jax someday down the road?
You know, I keep a noose in my closet for that specific reason.
How's your team doing coming into playoffs? We know you guys are probably coming in as second or first seed, depending on the White Lotus series. So talk to us about that. How's your team kind of preparing coming into playoffs?
Well, we've pretty much got second seed locked down. Getting first seed would be a miracle because that means that we'd have to beat White Lotus, which is of course going to be a very difficult match. But that means that White Lotus then also has to go on later that day to lose to TPR as well, which I don't think will happen. So
okay.
It would be nice, but I mean, realistically, there's no way. I think.
And now, granted, since your team has done so well, with the standings and everything, the enormous amount of wins that you guys have taken, the fact that Alice did manage to take one game off of you guys and took this series to a game 3, what do you feel like this does for your team? In terms of learning and improving, do you think this is going to help your team realize maybe some more areas that you guys could improve on or clean up as to why you may have dropped that game?
I mean, I don't want to say too much, but we know what we have to work on, and we'll address that coming into playoffs.
How was the game different playing with Astro in the mid lane as opposed to Frisian?
Well, you know, of course, it would have been nice to have Frisian here, just because I think that he's probably the now with Dylan kind of out of commission from SKZ. I think Frisian is easily either the best or second best mid laner in the league. Mm-hmm. So it would have been nice to have him, but Astra did a phenomenal job. Yeah. Really appreciate her subbing in for us. It was, I mean, she had an amazing third game on Vigar and a really good first game on Oriana too. So.
Yeah. Well, spectacular job today. I don't think Bygone, you have any more questions?
Just random personal question for me, just because I'm interested from someone who actually plays it. What makes the Essence Reaver on Renekton still so good right now? To play him basically as more of a glass cannon as opposed to more bruiser defensive items.
Well, so Renekton's W applies on-hit effects 3 times at 50 Fury. So when you ult and then W, you get 3 stacks of the Essence Flare. So you W and then your W's back up basically immediately, and that it hits for 700 damage. So it's pretty easy to 100 to 0 carries you can get on them. Mm-hmm. Plus, I really trust my team to set me up for good engages, so it's pretty much thoughtless for me to go damage because I know that my team is going to back me up.
And just because I'm also curious, now going into playoffs, with this now match under your belt, do you think there is any top laner that could actually really contest you in the lane matchup? Do you think anyone could actually give you a hard time in your laning phase just by themselves, no jungle intervention, or do you think that you are just the cream of the crop, the top of the ladder?
I don't really like questions like this, but I will say that I've laned against everybody but Fresh Burger, and I think that versus Fuzzy's Poppy was the first time that I could really say that I really didn't do that well in lane. So I'll leave it at that.
Yeah, I wasn't necessarily asking for names. I was just curious if you felt that there exists players that could potentially challenge you, or whether you felt no, you're in a pretty good spot that basically other players would have to step up their game.
I do think the top laners kind of have to step up. I think that the top lane is the weakest represented role in GXPC. There's a few good top laners. I think NFG's top laner is good, Harbinger. The last time we played, he unfortunately got the bad end of the Renekton versus Aatrox matchup. And I think I had a little bit of trouble versus Viator, ROK's top laner, the last time we played. But I'm looking forward to the Fresh Burger matchup tomorrow, basically, is what I'm trying to say.
Well, all right, thank you very much.
All right, I have a few shout-outs, if that's okay with you guys.
Yeah, absolutely. Go
ahead. Shouts out to all the friends who are at my house right now who had to sit through this 3-hour event. Shouts out to Maddie in chat. You suck.
You, Maddie.
That was my company who should not have talked because now I'm going to get in trouble. Shouts out to Skyson for duoing with me, and shouts out to my team for carrying me.
All right, great shout outs. Congratulations on you guys' win tonight.
Yeah, thanks guys. I'll talk to you later.
All right, well, that's going to be it for us tonight here on GXPC. Definitely come back later in the week. We have some exciting matchups again. We have White Lotus versus PPC, as you heard earlier, going to be one of the most electric matchups we have in preparations coming into this playoffs. I'm Rebel Fox. Of course, this is Bygone Coder. I'm signing off. Thank you so much for coming around. We love having you here. Please come back.